Chapter 3078. Gao Ran nodded. Can the two of you give Uncle Gao and your daddy some time to talk in private? Uncle Gao, what do you want to talk about behind our backs? Little Bean asked with a smile. Buiyuan's marriage, Gao Ran said with a straight face. Uncle Gao, you're a bad guy. I'm not talking to you. You're so annoying. Little Bean immediately covered her face and ran out. Shaking her head helplessly, Pudding followed her sister out. What's going on, Chief Gao? You bullied my daughter as soon as you came in, Qin Chu joked. If I didn't use my ultimate move, your daughter wouldn't be easy to deal with. As Gao Ran spoke, he pulled a chair over and sat down. He sat down beside Qin Chu's bed, very close to him. Then, he casually picked up the dagger and peeled the apple, looking very relaxed. Aren't you going to ask me how I'm doing? Qin Chu asked. You look so lively. I'm sure you're fine. Okay. You know me. Qin Chu smiled. Gao Ran and Huamian had known each other for longer than they had known each other since they were young, so they had a lot of chemistry. You really scared me. You were in a coma for so long. It's just a minor injury. Compared to the 4 years in the States, it's nothing. Qin Chu smiled bitterly. Chu, I finally understand you. Your feelings for Huamin, thinking that Qin Chu missed Huamin so much that he got paranoid personality disorder and didn't want Huamin to know about it, Gao Ran felt heartbroken. She's my wife. I should do anything for her. I know. You love her so much that you're willing to do anything for her. But, can you take care of yourself first? How can you take medicine that's harmful to your liver? Gao Ran's words were laced with reproach. Before Qin Chu could speak, Gao Ran continued, in fact, Huamin wasn't very happy in the 4 years you were in the States. Although Su Yu took care of her, she always missed you. It's not easy for a woman to take care of your company and 2 kids. I know. I know. Qin Chu's voice got lower and lower. So, if she loses you, how can Huamin live? You two love each other so much. Why do you torture each other like this? Gao Ran couldn't understand why he had to suffer for the sake of the other party. Qin Chu lowered his head, thinking about something, and didn't say anything. Su Yu and I have been looking for Huamin's whereabouts. You won't be able to find her, Qin Chu said. Fuck. You don't believe in our abilities. Gao Ran teased. It has nothing to do with your abilities. This is a trap that Hua Xiqian has been planning for years. He's been waiting for this moment. How could he let us find her so easily? That brain of his isn't for nothing. I believe you. Hua Xiqian is a psycho, but he's really shrewd. If he's been planning this for so many years, then it's not that easy. But no matter how hard it is, you'll keep looking. You won't give up, right? Emisham. No matter how long it takes, no matter what it takes, I'll find her, even if it means death. Qin Chu was determined. I really don't get it. There are people in the circle who don't understand and say that you're a coward, useless, and can't even protect your wife. This has nothing to do with ability. You're just unlucky that a psychopath took your place. Even if you're a god, if someone has been watching you and plotting against you for more than 10 years, there will still be a time when you slip up, Gao Ran defended Qin Chu. Forget it. I don't care about what those irrelevant people say, Qin Chu said faintly. Do you have a plan to find Huamin? Gao Ran wanted to help Qin Chu. I want to see Lu Yan first, Qin Chu said. Lu Yan? Who? Gao Ran was confused. Chapter 3079. You don't know her, Qin Chu replied directly. Damn, of course I don't know her. Otherwise, why would I ask? Who is it? I can tell from her name that she's a woman. Hee hee, could she be the mistress you met in the States? Gao Ran teased. Chin Chu, fine, I'm just kidding. Don't look at me like you want to eat me, okay? Gao Ran felt guilty. Don't talk nonsense. It's not as simple as you think. It's very complicated. I'll tell you later. Okay, the most handsome, arrogant, and brave Chin Chu in history. Congratulations on your recovery. You're full of energy again. Let's fight to the death with that big pervert Hua Xiqian. I swear, when I see him again, I'll take off my police uniform and beat him up to vent my anger. Damn it, he's not a joke, Gao Ran cursed through gritted teeth. Chin Chu was very calm in the face of Gao Ran's intense reaction. Including this time, when he woke up in the hospital, his attitude wasn't particularly extreme. After being in a coma for so long, he thought that he might die and leave this world. When he woke up, he knew that he still had unfinished business. Mian was still waiting for him to save her. Coupled with Chin Chu's strange personality, his reaction was surprisingly calm. Everyone was a little afraid that he would take things too hard. Okay, Chief Gao, I'll rely on you when the time comes. Chin Chu smiled slightly. No problem, we've been brothers for so many years. Your business is my business. Your parents are my parents, your children are my children, and your wife is me. Looking at Chin Chu's murderous gaze, Gao Ran didn't dare to joke anymore and quickly changed his words. Ahem, your wife is like my biological sister, ha. That's more like it. Chin Chu rolled his eyes at him. The news of Chin Chu waking up quickly spread, and everyone came to visit. In addition to Rick and Gao Ran, these two close friends, Suyu also came. When Suyu arrived, it was noon. Everyone had gone out for lunch, and only Chin Chu was in the ward. He had just finished his mother's porridge and was about to drink some water when he realized that there was no water in the cup. Then, Chin Chu put down the empty glass. Suyu walked in directly, picked up the cup, went to the side, filled it with water from the kettle, and handed it to Chin Chu. Thank you. Chin Chu raised his head and glanced at Suyu. How is it? How's your recovery? Very good. I think I'll be able to get out of bed in 2 days. Chin Chu smiled in a friendly manner. Okay, that's good. Pudding and Little Bean will be very happy, Suyu said. Thank you for taking care of the two of them during this period of time. Why do you use the word take care? The two of them are destined to be with me. I've watched them grow up since they were born. Although they're not my biological daughters, my relationship with them is definitely more than that. So, taking care of them is part of my job. Hearing Suyu's words, Chin Chu felt a surge of warmth in his heart. Suyu was always a righteous man and never used underhanded methods. This was also why Chin Chu always respected Suyu. But, Chin Chu, I want to give you a good scolding. Suyu said. Chin Chu raised his head in surprise. He didn't know why Suyu suddenly said this. Was it because he lost Hua Mian? Chapter 3080. Look at you, what kind of father are you? Chin Chu was speechless. You were fine, but you handed your daughter to me. You even asked your stupid assistant to pass the message to me as if you were leaving me a will. It's so tiring. Chin Chu was speechless. At that time, I thought I had a slim chance of survival. How is that possible? You were set up by Hua Xiqian and you were fine. Didn't you come back safe and sound? People say that if you survive a disaster, you're bound to have good fortune. You're still in the future. Don't say such inauspicious things again. If Hua Min finds out, he'll beat you up. Okay, I won't say it. Live well and find Hua Min. Okay, I'll find him. Suyu sighed deeply and stood up. Hey, let's not talk so formally. I'm not used to it. By the way, have you eaten? What do you want to eat? I'll make you something. I just ate porridge made by my mother. I can only eat liquid food now. Yeah, look at me. I forgot that you're still a patient who just recovered from a serious illness. Okay, rest well. I've been trying to find news about Huamin. I'll let you know if I have any news. Okay. Rest well. I'm leaving. Suyu, Qin Chu said. Don't thank me. At a time like this, I don't need a thank you. I feel uncomfortable hearing it. Suyu knew that although Qin Chu didn't say anything, he must be very grateful to him. They had all thanked him before. No, I won't say thank you this time. Qin Chu smiled. Well, let's not talk about that between us. I'm not looking at you. We're not friends to begin with, but I'm friends with Huamin, and you're my friend's husband. I can't bear to see my friends in trouble, Suyu tried to explain. In fact, he was just being stubborn. Qin Chu had already seen through him. Emsham, I thank you on behalf of Mian. Look, she's doing it again. Huamin, that wretched girl, won't thank me. She can't wait to slander me. Qin Chu chuckled upon hearing this. Our sharp-tongued Dr. Hua is back this time. I have to ask her to treat me to a big meal to help me get over the shock. I haven't slept well for so many days. Yes, when she comes back, let her treat all of us to a meal for 7 consecutive days. Qin Chu said. Haha, that's a good idea. However, if we let her treat so many of us to a meal for 7 days in a row, will she go bankrupt? Suyu laughed out loud. Just thinking about that scene made him feel warm. No, my wife, she's very rich. Qin Chu's lips curled up slightly. Emichim, you're right. Huamin is a capitalist, she's really good at making money. Her salary as the vice director is already very high. We can't sympathize with her. We have to slander her for 7 days, Suyu said. After Suyu left, the hospital room returned to silence. Qin Chu picked up his phone and opened the photo album. Looking at Huamin's photo, he couldn't calm down for a long time. Once again, a piercing pain came from his chest. He knew that this wasn't a physical pain, but a psychological one. He missed her too much and was in so much pain that it caused him to be in this state. It seemed that if he didn't take medicine, this kind of state would come very quickly. Just like the 4 years he was in the States, his chest twitched and his heart seemed to shrink into a ball. It made him feel a little suffocated. Mian, you have to wait for me. I will find you. Qin Chu clutched his chest, his expression extremely painful. At the same time on the deserted island, Huamin discovered that Hua Xiqian was missing. Yes, he hadn't seen him for an entire day. He didn't even cook. This had never happened before. Did he leave the island? Huamin wondered. Chapter 3081. However, based on her understanding of Hua Xiqian, that shouldn't be the case. Even if Hua Xiqian left the island for work, he would at least tell her to prepare some ingredients for her to eat. But now, for the entire day, Huamin went out for a walk around the island and then went to the beach to daydream. She didn't have an appetite in the afternoon, so she didn't go back for lunch. She wondered why Hua Xiqian didn't look for her today. In the past, whenever she didn't go back for lunch, Hua Xiqian would anxiously look for her all over the island. He would even bring food for her, afraid that she would be hungry. A rumbling sound came from his stomach. Huamin touched her stomach and felt that she was being selfish. Even if she didn't eat, the baby in her stomach still had to eat. Moreover, she wasn't a rich young lady who didn't do household chores. She might as well cook for herself. Who cares where Hua Xiqian went? Wouldn't it be better if he left? She wouldn't be bored if she was alone. At this thought, Hua Min got up and went to the kitchen. She found basic ingredients like rice, flour, and corn oil. There was no refrigerator on the island. It wasn't because electricity was troublesome, but because Hua Xiqian might want to return to his primitive life. He tried his best not to use those advanced appliances, whether it was cooking or stir-frying. He used a big iron pot in the kitchen. The bottom of the iron pot was burning wood. Every morning, Hua Xiqian would go out to look for wood and chop it into firewood. He enjoyed it very much. According to Hua Xiqian, the food that his subordinates sent was always stored in a cellar behind the wooden house. Hua Min knew about cellars. When she was in university, she went out for an internship. She once went to a backward village with her teachers and classmates. In that village, water and electricity were scarce. Not to mention appliances. Therefore, in the summer, to prevent the vegetables from going bad too quickly, every family would store some food and necessities in the cellar. It was similar to the cellar of a villa in the city, but it was definitely not as luxurious. In fact, it was just a pit that was dug by hand and made into a ladder. The temperature in the basement was very low. Hua Min had also heard from Hua Xiqian that the supplies sent by his subordinates were all in the cellar. However, she had never seen what the cellar looked like. He wasn't interested either. Hua Min used the remaining firewood from yesterday to burn the iron pot. Then, he added water. Using the primitive method, he put water and rice in a small basin and then steamed them in an iron pot. As for the vegetables, she looked around and only found the leftover green pepper eggs from yesterday. She picked it up and smelled it. She felt that the smell had changed, so she threw it away. Hua Min didn't pay much attention to the problem of vegetables at first. He thought that it would be fine to eat them casually. But then she suddenly thought of a very serious problem. She couldn't eat every meal, right? If Hua Xiqian didn't come back for 1 or 2 days, what was she going to eat to survive? In the end, Hua Min calmed down and thought about it. He decided to take a look at the cellar. She wanted to see how much food was left. At least she couldn't starve to death on this deserted island. As for the reason why Hua Xiqian left the island, she was too lazy to think about it. Then, Hua Min opened the door and walked towards the back of the wooden house. That was where Hua Xiqian often went, so she rarely went there and had no interest in it. When she got close to the cellar, Hua Min started to feel inexplicably anxious. It felt like she knew that something bad was going to happen, but she couldn't stop walking. Chapter 3082. When Hua Min reached the entrance of the cellar, she felt a little depressed. Suddenly, he didn't dare to open that small square door again. The door was attached to the ground, so she had to hold the handle and lift it up. Then, she had to climb down the dark ladder. Speaking of which, going down to the cellar during the day was indeed a scary thing. Especially on a deserted island like this. Hua Min took a deep breath and encouraged herself. Then, she suddenly opened the cellar door. Then, a gust of eerie cold air hit her in the face. She couldn't help but shudder. Hua Min carefully held the flashlight in the room. Then, she climbed down the ladder bit by bit. When she reached the ground, she was surprised to find that the cellar was actually huge. It wasn't like the small cellars in the mountain village that she saw before, which were small and humid. This place was surprisingly dry and cool. Moreover, the walls were made of limestone. This kind of style could no longer be described as a cellar. It was even more luxurious than the cellars of some rich people. No wonder Hua Xiqian liked to come here when he had nothing to do. It was really cool here. Hua Min looked at the cellar. There were many ingredients and daily necessities neatly arranged in the cellar. There was an entire box of whiskey, Lafite, and champagne. From small items like toilet paper and laundry detergent, there was actually everything. This scale was comparable to a small grocery store. As for the easy-to-store things like ham, canned fish, and bottled salted vegetables, there were 5 to 6 boxes of each. Huamin was a little slightly surprised. No wonder Hua Xichen kept changing the dishes all day long. There were so many ingredients. Hua Mian held the flashlight in her hand and walked in. When she walked to the end of the cellar, she saw a small door. The walls were made of limestone. Huever, the door was dark red and even a little rusty. It looked a little scary. The door wasn't locked. Huamin was very curious. What else could be inside? She shone the flashlight and pushed the door open. He found himself in another storage space. Hua Xichen must have bought this place a long time ago because this basement was not something that could be completed in 1 or 2 months. Huamin thought as he walked inside. Suddenly, a weak cough could be heard. Huamin's scalp went numb. Who's there? Huamin shone his flashlight in the direction of the voice. He was surprised to find a figure curled up in the corner of the room. Huamin. I knew you would come, hee. The man slowly stood up. When Huamin's flashlight shone on the man's face, she felt like her hair was about to explode. That feeling was absolutely horrifying. This person was Hua Xichen. It was actually the Hua Xichen that she thought had already left the island. But why would he lock himself in here for no reason? In an instant, Huamin's mind was filled with too many questions. Why are you here? Huamin forced herself to be calm and asked him. Why are you here? He asked back. I thought you left the island, so I came down to find something to eat. There's no food up here, Huamin said. Oh, I see. He nodded, not surprised or surprised. Seeing that Huamin didn't speak, Hua Xichen waved his hand and smiled at Huamin. Huamin, come here. What? Huamin looked at him cautiously. He didn't move forward and even subconsciously took 2 steps back. I sprained my ankle and can't walk. Can you help me, please? He said with a smile. Chapter 3083. Where did you sprain your ankle? Huamin was skeptical. In the basement, of course. Why else would I sprain my ankle and come here? Hua Xichen chuckled. Then why did you enter this room? There's nothing here. Huamin noticed that there was nothing else in the room other than Hua Xichen. Why did he enter such an empty room? Shouldn't it be more logical to enter the room where Hua Xichen put his things? I just sprained my ankle and couldn't get out, so I wanted to find a place to rest. Is that so? Huamin had a feeling that things weren't that simple. Huamin, are you suspecting me? Huamin looked at Hua Xichen from afar and didn't approach him. Huamin noticed that Hua Xichen was in a dark corner and she couldn't see what was around him. She really didn't want to act rashly. I'm not suspecting you. I just think something's wrong, Huamin said bluntly. What's wrong? You're too sensitive. Hua Xichen sat on the floor and smiled, trying to look calm. But Hua Xichen never calls me Huamin, Huamin said calmly. Hua Xichen was slightly surprised. He didn't think that Huamin would notice such a small thing so clearly. Yes, Huamin had noticed the way he called him. Although it was very friendly and gentle, he still called Huamin. Hua Xichen had never called him Huamin before. Huamin had never called him that. When they were in Sea City, he would call Huamian little sister. Now that they were on the island, he called her Mian. Even if she pissed him off or got mad at him, he wouldn't call her by her full name. The only reason he called her Huamin was because he wasn't very close to Huamin. As for this person, Huamin seemed to have an answer in his mind. You're pretty smart. No wonder that guy likes you. It seems like the rumors of high IQ are true. Huasichen slowly stood up. As he stood up, the sound of chains clattering could be heard. It was obvious that he was bound by chains. You're Jack. Although he already knew the answer, Huamin still felt very nervous. This was because every time Huasichen's second personality appeared, Huamin felt like it was a nightmare. If Huasichen was a psycho, then Jack was a demon. 10 Huasichens wouldn't be as scary as one Jack. Very good, you still remember me. I'm so touched. Huamian. Jack's tone was very strange, especially when he said Huamin's name. He deliberately dragged out the last syllable. Huamin immediately broke out in cold sweat. Even his fingers were slightly trembling. She had always thought of herself as a calm person in the face of danger, but at this moment, she still felt panic, fear, and despair for no reason. Are you chained? Huamin's gaze locked onto Jack's hands and feet. They didn't look thick, but they were abnormally strong. The chains were very new and very smooth. There was no one else on this island other than her and Huasichen, so, who chained him? Huasichen, that coward, can only do things that hurt himself. If I said he was the one who chained me, would you believe me? Huamin didn't say anything after hearing this. She just kept trying to figure out if Jack was telling the truth or not. For her, neither Huasichen nor Jack could be trusted. Chapter 3084. Why did he lock you up? He's a psycho, so he locks himself up for fun, Jack said airily. That shouldn't be the case. As far as I know, Huasichen isn't a reckless person. He loves himself a lot, so you don't believe me. Jack raised his eyebrows and asked. I just want to say that Huasichen didn't lock himself up. I'm afraid, it's you, right? Huamin stared into Jack's eyes and said word by word. There seemed to be a slight change in Jack's eyes. Huamin was indeed not a simple woman, especially at a time like this. She was still very cautious. That's funny. What's the difference between locking me up and locking himself up? It's not like you don't know our situation. It's hard to say, but I think he wouldn't do something like this for no reason. Let's not talk about this for now. Huamin, there's only you and me on this island. If I stay locked up like this, I'll starve to death. It's okay if I starve to death, but once I die, you'll be in danger too. Do you know that? You can't live on this island alone. So, what are you trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, let me go, and I'll let you go. You'll let me go. Huamin was a little confused. Obviously, she didn't believe Jack's words. My relationship with Huasichen is like this. We share memories, so I know what he did to you. He planned for so many years just to take you out to a place where no one can find you. If you stay here with him, you won't be able to escape. I'm sure you know the situation on this island better than I do, so it's impossible for you to run away. If you wait for someone to come and save you, it might take 100 years. Plus, if you live here for a year or two, he might move again. Huasichen's love for you is more stubborn than you can imagine. Huamin didn't say anything and just listened to Jack's analysis. But I'm different. I'm not him. I'm Jack. I'm an independent personality. I don't like you at all. I'm free. Let me go, and we'll leave this place together. Then, we'll write off the grudge between us, and you can continue to want revenge. That's your business. The most important thing is to leave this godforsaken place. It was obvious that Jack despised this place. His attitude was the complete opposite of Huasichen's. Huasichen loved this place very much. He had even made up his mind to grow vegetables here with Huamin in the future. Therefore, Huamin thought that this might really be an excellent opportunity to escape from this uninhabited island. At the very least, if Hua Xiqian regained his personality, he would never let her go. Seeing that Huamin was hesitant, Jack began to persuade him even more. Don't hesitate anymore. This is a rare opportunity. He's been taking a lot of drugs every day to suppress my appearance. There aren't many opportunities for me to appear. If you don't take this opportunity to escape, you won't have another chance. Do you understand? Jack kept pressuring Huamin. I understand what you're saying, but why should I believe you? How do I know that you won't harm me after I help you open the chains? Huamin asked. So, since it's all unknown, why don't you take a gamble? Jack's smile was a little strange. Huamin was once again in a dilemma. If she didn't let him go, then what Jack said was right. Once Hua Xiqian regained his consciousness, he wouldn't let her go no matter what she said. Jack really didn't like her. It was obvious from the few times they had fought before. Then, should she take a gamble? Chapter 3085. In Sea City. In Shen Mingxi's private mansion, he came in with a thermos flask and Tian ran to him. Uncle Shen, you're back. Yeah. Tian, have you had dinner? No. Ha. Didn't the housekeeping auntie that uncle called over make dinner for you? Yeah. She did. Why didn't you eat? Don't you like the dishes? Shen Mingxi asked. No. Tian shook her head. Before Shen Mingxi could ask, Tian continued, I just want to wait for Uncle Shen to come back so we can eat together. You. Didn't I tell you not to wait for me? I get off work late. But I don't have an appetite when you're not home. Okay. Let's eat together, okay? Okay. Tian smiled like a flower. Sister Fang, heat this up. Shen Mingxi handed her the thermos flask. Sister Fang was the best housekeeper recommended by the housekeeping company and was very considerate in cooking and taking care of children. As a man, it was inconvenient for Shen Mingxi to take care of Tian alone. Besides, he didn't have the time or energy. So, he hired a housekeeper. But Tian didn't seem to like it. Whenever Shen Mingxi came back, she would stick to him. She even wanted him to watch her sleep. This child didn't seem to have a sense of security. Uncle Shen, what's that? Is it delicious? Yeah. It's delicious. What's delicious? It's pork bone soup. It's delicious. Wow. Uncle Shen, where did you buy it? Tian glanced at the thermos flask in the housekeeper's hand and asked. I didn't buy it. A friend gave it to me, Shen Mingxi said casually. Who gave it to you? Tian didn't want to give up and wanted to get to the bottom of it. It's... Shen Mingxi hesitated slightly because he didn't know if he should tell the truth or if it would affect Tian. Did Auntie Weiing give it to you? Tian asked. How do you know? Shen Mingxi looked at the child in surprise. Because she cares about Uncle Shen the most. She's been trying to please you, Tian said. Shen Mingxi squatted down, hugged Tian, and said patiently, Tian, let me tell you, fawning is a derogatory term. It's not suitable to be used in this kind of conversation. He thought that the child was too young and might not know the meaning of the words, so he couldn't grasp them well. However, Tian seemed to be very calm as she looked at him and corrected him. I know that fawning is a derogatory term. It's not good language. Shen Mingxi was stunned again, but Auntie Weiing does have ulterior motives. She's been trying to please you. Shen Mingxi, Uncle Shen, I don't like Auntie Weiing. Can you stop hanging out with her? Tian Tian, why don't you like her? She's very fierce. She was very rude to me and Mom before, yelling and screaming. She always bullies us. She's a bad woman. Shen Mingxi suddenly remembered that Wei Ying had done many things to hurt Hui Yanyan and her daughter because of her obsession with him. But that was a long time ago. Now, Wei Ying was no longer the rude and unreasonable woman she used to be. She had been reborn. Tian Tian, listen to Uncle Shen. Auntie Wei Ying is not that kind of person anymore. She's realized her mistakes. But she won't like me, Uncle Shen. Why do you think she won't like you? Shen Mingxi was surprised by what Tian Tian said tonight. Chapter 3086. It's because she's my mom's enemy. Who told you that? My mom told me. What did she tell you? Shen Mingxi suddenly realized that he had forgotten about Hui Yanyan's teachings to Tian Tian. My mom said Auntie Wei Ying is a bad person and that she must deal with her. What else? Shen Mingxi continued to ask. She also said, don't let Auntie Wei Ying be with Uncle Shen and torture her. Shen Mingxi exhaled deeply. As expected, Hui Yanyan had hidden her intentions well. It turned out that she was very scheming and had planned everything step by step. Compared to a scheming bitch like Hui Yanyan, Wei Ying was hot-tempered but didn't play tricks. She was much easier to forgive. Seeing Shen Mingxi's dark expression, Tian Tian leaned against his face and said in a small voice, Uncle Shen, I know you'll find another woman if you don't stay with my mom. But don't go with Auntie Wei Ying, okay? She's on bad terms with my mom and won't treat me well. She'll kill me. Tian Tian, it's between adults. You don't understand. I don't care. I don't want Uncle Shen to be with Auntie Wei Ying. Whoa whoa. Then, Tian Tian ran into her room. Tian Tian, Tian Tian, it's time to eat. The housekeeper, Fong, came in with a bowl of reheated pork bone soup. But Tian Tian knocked her to the ground. The pork bone soup spilled out and almost scalded the housekeeper, making her step back in fear. Mr. Shen, what's wrong with Tian Tian today? She's acting strange. I was going to ask you that. What's going on? Did someone come to our house today? Shen Mingxi frowned slightly. No. Fong was also confused. At this moment, Shen Mingxi glanced at the newspaper at home. The headline of the entertainment section was a photo of him and Wei Ying. It was a photo of them being intimate with each other on the eve of their wedding. But why would they dig up such an old photo? Shen Mingxi picked up the newspaper and read the headline. Rumor has it that young Master Shen and his ex-wife have been interacting a lot lately and are showing signs of getting back together. Shen Mingxi finished reading and put down the newspaper. Who brought this back? Sir, I bought them. When I went out to buy groceries, I had some spare change. I bought a few newspapers. Tian Tian doesn't know so many words. Did you tell her? No, this really isn't me. Maybe she used some software on her phone. I really don't know why. Sir. I'm sorry. Please don't fire me. Ms. Fong hadn't been here for long and didn't know Shen Mingxi's temper. She was scared and thought that Shen Mingxi was going to scold her. Then it's fine. Sister Fong, you go ahead with your work. I'll go to the room to check on the child. Shen Mingxi was actually very tired after a day of work in the company. He had to be both a father and a mother when he came back. Today, Wei Ying went to the company to see him. They didn't talk for long before she left after putting down the pork bone soup. She said that he hadn't recovered from his injuries after the car accident, so she was helping him nourish his body. To be honest, Wei Ying was a completely different person now, and Shen Mingxi did feel differently about her. But Tian Tian, it was indeed a difficult problem. Not to mention whether Tian would accept Wei Ying or not. Wei Ying probably wouldn't accept Wei Yanyan's daughter either, right? After all, the old grudge, the Municipal Public Security Bureau was in charge of the mental hospital. Two young nurses gossiped in the hallway. Did you hear? Young Master Shen and his ex-wife are getting remarried. The media is talking about it like crazy. Yeah, they're a perfect match. They shouldn't have divorced. It's all Hui Yanyan's fault, the despicable third party. Hui Yanyan sat on the hospital bed, leaning against the wall with her hair disheveled. After hearing this, her eyes gradually turned cold. Chapter 3087. Someone come. Someone come quickly. Hui Yanyan dashed off the bed like a madwoman and shook the locked door with all her might. What's the matter? The nurse looked at her impatiently through the bars. I want to see that bastard Shen Mingxi. Get him here. I want to see my daughter. You think you can see whoever you want. Who do you think you are? The nurse glanced at Hui Yanyan in disdain. Bitch, shut up. Help me find him or I'll kill all of you. Hui Yanyan seemed to have lost her mind. She glared at the nurse with fury in her eyes. You're indeed a psycho. Who wants to talk to you? Young Master Shen is busy. You don't know yet, right? He's getting back together with his ex-wife. Hui Yanyan's face turned livid when she heard this. When the time comes, your daughter will be sent to an orphanage. Miss Wei won't be able to accept your daughter. Hui Yanyan clenched her fists in fury. If it weren't for you, young Master Shen wouldn't have gotten a divorce. You're just like your mother. You're addicted to being a mistress, aren't you? Unfortunately, your mother got married, but you didn't. You ended up being abandoned. Shut up. Trash. Hui Yanyan pointed at the nurse and yelled. What's the point of getting mad at me? I'm telling the truth. You're crazy and no man will want to talk to you. Young Master Shen only cares about you and comes to see you a few times. Do you really think it's true love? Idiot. There was a reason for the nurse's harsh words. One of the nurse's cousins was good friends with Wei Ying, so she knew a lot about the rich and powerful. That was why she hated Hui Yanyan so much. You won't have a good ending for treating me like this. Just you wait. Hui Yanyan cursed viciously. In the military hospital, Qin Chu was now able to move freely. This was his last day in the hospital. Qin Ning took the initiative to accompany her brother, so in the middle of the night, only the two of them were left in the large ward. Qin Ning lay on the sofa and fell asleep with her clothes on. Qin Chu, on the other hand, couldn't fall asleep for a long time. He slowly got off the bed. He wanted to be quiet so that he wouldn't wake Qin Ning up. But this girl was a light sleeper, so she still woke up. Big brother, where are you going? Qin Ning rubbed her eyes and slowly sat up. I need to go to the toilet. Call me, I'll help you there. I can walk now. I've almost recovered. I don't need you to support me. Go to sleep. No, you've just recovered from a serious illness, and your wounds may not have healed yet. You can't make any mistakes. Qin Ning was willing to stay because she didn't trust anyone else to take care of her brother. To her, taking care of her brother was something she wanted to do. Ning, I'm really fine. I'm just too bored and want to go out and get some fresh air, Qin Chu said. Big brother, are you starting to feel sad again? Qin Ning's eyes darkened as she tried to figure out what Qin Chu was thinking. Qin Chu didn't say anything. During his 4 years in the States, Qin Chu couldn't sleep because he missed Wamin. He would wake up in the middle of the night to drink coffee and tea, and in the end, he would take medicine to suppress it. To Qin Chu, that feeling was constant torture. No one could imagine what it was like for a normal person to be unable to sleep. Chin Chu's worst experience was that he couldn't close his eyes for an entire week. It was extremely painful. He was also very thin, and his eyes were deeply sunken. Chin Ning's heart ached when she saw him like this. "I'm fine. Don't lie to me, other people don't know, but I do. Sister-in-law is your life." When Chin Ning said this, her voice trembled slightly. She was crying. "There's nothing on the island right now. Let me ask you, how are you going to let me leave the island?" Huamin looked at him quietly. "That's easy. Don't Huasichin's people come every once in a while? They send supplies. I can take you away during that time. They won't suspect boss, and no one knows me. Very few people know of my existence." Jack smiled proudly. "So you're saying that even if I let you go now, we'll still have to stay on the island until Huasichin's people come, right?" "Something like that." Jack nodded. "That's easy. Then I'll let you go when Huasichin's people come." Huamin already had an idea. "Huamin, what do you mean by that?" Jack's face gradually darkened. Chapter 3089. What I mean is, I can't let you go right now. How can you go back on your word? Jack was furious. Go back on my word? No, I never promised to save you, so it's not going back on my word, Huamin replied calmly. You idiot, you actually gave up your only chance to escape from the island. Jack gritted his teeth and glanced coldly at Huamin's face. This was indeed a reaction that Huasichin had never shown her before. Don't say that. I'm not stupid, that's why I can see the situation clearly. I do hate Huasichin, but Jack, you make my hair stand on end. Yes, Huamin already knew the answer in his heart. He would rather give up this chance to escape than believe Jack's words. They had fought before, and this man was a complete madman. In comparison, although Huasichin was annoying, at least he could guarantee her safety. Ha, then you can die of old age on this island. Jack sneered. I'm actually curious. Since you share memories with Huasichin, then you should know where the key is, right? Huamin asked tentatively. Are you trying to trick me? Of course not. If you want me to save you, don't you have to tell me where the key is? Huamin laughed. Woman, why should I believe you? You're not going to let me go. Why would I tell you where the key is? Jack seemed to be angered by Huamin. Fine, if that's the case, then the negotiation is over. Stay here. After speaking, Huamin turned around to leave. Huamin, if I die, it won't do you any good. If I die, Huasichin will die too, Jack said anxiously. Huamin turned around and continued to chuckle. That's great. Isn't this killing two birds with one stone? Both you and Huasichin are my mortal enemies. But if we die, after a while, when his subordinates find out that something happened to the boss, they will send you down to the Yellow Springs to accompany me. Jack smiled sinisterly. Do you think I'm afraid of death? Huamin thought Jack's words were ridiculous. Of course you won't be afraid, but don't you have another one in your stomach? Do you really want your child to be burdened to death by you before he even sees the world? Huamin's expression changed slightly upon hearing this. It seemed that Huasichin and Jack's memories were indeed shared. Jack even knew about her pregnancy. From the looks of it, you're the one who's at a disadvantage. Why don't you take care of yourself? After speaking, Huamin turned around and left, without looking back. Come back, you bitch. Jack cursed crazily, but Huamin didn't look back. Was she going to starve this guy to death in the basement? No, Huamin wouldn't do that. She would bring him food on time every day and keep him alive. At least, Hua Xiqian couldn't die yet. Huamin really didn't want to die here with him. When Huamin climbed out of the basement and breathed in the fresh air outside, she suddenly felt that it was great to be alive. In order to celebrate his healthy discharge from the hospital, everyone planned to come over for a meal. The two elders of the Qin family had already prepared the food. After the incident at home, Qin Chu fired all the nannies except for Uncle Li, who was brought back. Of course, it was also because Hua Xiqian had planted spies in the nannies, so they were fired. The two elders of the Qin family and Uncle Li went to buy groceries early and came back to prepare. Qin Chu took the kids to the garden in the yard to water the flowers. Then, his friends arrived one after another. Other than Ni Yang and the others who went back with Qin Jia, everyone else was there. Jiang Xiaowei, Wei Liao, Gao Ran, Zhu Lingling, Tang Chuan, Qin Ning, Rick, Cici, and Su Yu. Su Yu was the first to arrive. He drove his black Lamborghini, and there was a lot of delicious food in the trunk. Wow! Handsome Su, I love you so much. Seeing the food, Little Bean hugged Su Yu enthusiastically. Do you love me or the food? Su Yu asked with a smile. Chapter 3091. Handsome Su, what are you talking about? Am I that kind of person? Little Bean felt wronged. You are, Pudding and Su Yu said at the same time. Damn it. Daddy, look. Qin Zhao Zhao and Handsome Su are bullying me. Little Bean turned around and complained to her daddy. Whoa. Little brat, you know how to complain. Do I have to step aside now that your daddy is better? Su Yu teased her. Pooh. What are you talking about? Handsome Su, you've been with me for a long time. You should know me. Handsome Su knows you too well. That's why he said that. Pudding laughed. Go away, stinky Pudding. Don't cause trouble here. I'm trying to get closer to Handsome Su. Okay. How do you want to get closer to him? Su Yu hugged Little Bean and looked at her lovingly. Handsome Su, you bought all my favorite things. So you love me more, right? Little Bean said with a smile. You're flattering yourself. Of course. My sister doesn't like sweet things. She's afraid of getting fat. But I saw that all the things you bought today are sweet. Okay. You're smart. You can have them all. I'll keep some. You can take the rest. I can't take so many. Little Bean was surprised to hear this. Wow. Miss Little Bean, the sun rose from the west today. You used to die when you saw these things. Why are you asking me to take some back? What's going on? Because my mommy doesn't like me to eat sweet things. She's afraid my teeth will be bad and unhealthy. Little Bean said it very seriously. But Su Yu felt a lump in his throat when he heard this. Little Bean, Gao Buiyuan is here. Why don't you go pick him up? Pudding changed the subject. Really? I'll go and see. Hearing her sister's words, Little Bean immediately jumped out of Su Yu's arms and ran toward Gao Ran's car. Pudding walked over to Su Yu. Handsome Su, Little Bean didn't mean it. Don't be too sad. You know how to read minds. Can you guess what I'm thinking? Su Yu smiled. I know you're as sad as we are about Mommy. I know. Pudding reached out and placed her hand on Su Yu's shoulder. Her small palm gave him great comfort. I'm fine, Pudding. I'm really fine. I've always been confident that your mommy will be fine. But your daddy, My daddy has just recovered from a serious illness and has already thought things through. He has his own plans for mommy. My sister and I didn't say a word, but we both know very well. Your family's IQ is almost as high as a company. You're really going to become a demon, so you continued joking. Pudding. Wei Yunchu got out of the car and called her name from afar. Damn. That brat is here too. Go find your friends. I want to talk to your daddy. Okay. Pudding nodded and walked toward Wei Liao and Jiang Xiaowei's car. Suyu walked slowly to Qin Chu. Are you okay? Yeah. I'm almost recovered. What's your plan to find Huamin? I'm already looking for him. I'll tell you when I find some clues. But we don't have any clues. How are we going to find him? I'll go see Ching after dinner. I've seen Ching. He doesn't know much. I think he's hiding something from you. I'll talk to him alone and see if there are any new clues. Okay. I'll wait for your news. Suyu. Yeah. The old man who operated on me. Suyu looked at Qin Chu in confusion. That's Mion's biological father, Qin Chu said faintly. Upon hearing this, Suyu was completely dumbfounded. Chapter 3092. What? Suyu thought he was hallucinating. But Qin Chu didn't repeat himself. Instead, he stared at Huamian with a serious expression. Did you just tell me that the mysterious old man who operated on you is Mion's biological father? Yes. Oh my god. Suyu was shocked again. No, I need to calm down. Suyu put his hand on his heart, feeling it was racing. Qin Chu didn't say anything, but, something's wrong, Qin Chu. Didn't Mion's father do that thing many years ago? Suyu finally realized. Jingde isn't her biological father. So you're saying that Mion's mother isn't her biological mother? Suyu finally understood. Yes. It all started with what happened in the hospital years ago. Then, Qin Chu explained Huamin's background to Suyu so he could understand. After hearing this, Suyu was once again speechless from shock. So you're saying that the ordinary-looking old man I talked back to is a Chinese professor that even the FBI has to respect? Yeah. Fuck. I was so stupid to say that to him, Suyu said, blaming himself. It's not your fault. After all, he didn't reveal his identity. You should be careful. I knew it. Pudding and Rick knew. This old man must be someone special. I didn't expect him to be. The professor's identity is very special, and many people have ulterior motives toward him. Of course, he has to be careful. You understand. Hey, so Mion has an awesome little sister. Hearing Qin Chu mention Lu Yen so casually, Suyu knew things weren't as simple as they seemed. She was a little girl, but she was famous in the mercenary world. She couldn't be an ordinary person. Yeah. Then, the one who snuck into the hospital and drugged my bodyguard to see you should also be her, right? That should be the case. Qin Chu nodded and speculated. Damn. Mion's family has amazing genes. That's her biological mother. The matter of the biological mother is a little complicated. She and I haven't figured it out yet. I'll tell you bit by bit in the future. Do Mion's mother and Jixin know about this? I don't know. The less people know about this, the better. Qin Chu said. What about Hua Xichen? Hua Xichen knows. He has known about this for a long time. Fuck, that bastard actually knows about it. This time, he was in such a hurry to take Mion away and set this trap. It must have something to do with Ian. Ian. Suyu felt as if he had entered a whole new world when he read this unfamiliar name. These things. Before Chin-chu could finish, Hwasichin interrupted him. Suyu immediately replied, I won't tell anyone. Don't worry. I know. What I mean is, these things aren't that simple. Mion's identity and her family are very special. Leave the rest to me. What do you mean? Suyu glared at Chin-chu. I don't want you to be involved, Chin-chu said directly. Yes, things had escalated to this point. Chin-chu felt that Suyu might be in danger if he continued to be in charge. Ian didn't seem to be giving up either, whether it was hunting down Liu Yan or investigating Hwamin's background. They might run into each other in the future. What would the Su family do with such a dangerous person? Chapter 3093. Do you think I'm scared? Don't underestimate me, Suyu said proudly. It's not a matter of fear. Then what is it? Suyu was obviously not convinced. Ian is a murderous demon. The serial murders that have happened here before, the murderers were never caught, and the victims died tragically. Those were all Ian's masterpieces. Are you saying that he came to our place? Yes, and he's been investigating Mion's background. What's Ian's background? Why are you so afraid of him? Suyu wasn't stupid, he could tell that even someone like Chin-chu was afraid of Ian. He's the leader of a terrorist organization. But that's not the most important thing. What's scary about him is that his methods are terrifying. It's not something normal people like us can accept. Then, he wants to catch Mion because of the professor. Suyu wasn't stupid. Yes. Then why doesn't he catch Mion? She's good at fighting. Suyu was puzzled. He's been trying to catch her, but it's not that easy to catch Liu Yan. Damn it. Okay, it seems like I underestimated him. Yeah, that's why I'm telling you all this. I actually want to say. Before Chin-chu could finish, Suyu interrupted him. You actually want me to be a coward from now on. Chin-chu, although we're not close, I'm Hwamin's friend. I'm the kind of friend who would trade my life for his. I know, Chin-chu said. You know, and you still want me to be a coward. Is that my style? Suyu was a little angry. I know you're not afraid, but this isn't a small fight. We're not facing normal people. You're the only descendant of the Su family. I don't want Lord Su and the others to worry about you at their age. Chin-chu was thinking too much. The Su family had helped them, and he couldn't let Suyu put himself in danger because of them. Chin-chu was being kind. At least, he was thinking about Suyu. Chin-chu, do you know what I hate about you the most? Suyu suddenly asked. Question mark. Chin-chu looked at Suyu in confusion. I hate it when you act so righteous, as if no one else in this world can be sacrificed except you. Yes, you're the best, you're a saint, okay? Chin-chu, if I, Suyu, was a coward, I probably wouldn't care about you guys. You should have heard that back then, in order to get Mion out of prison safely, I pointed a gun at my own head and forced my grandfather into a corner. At that time, I thought that if my grandfather cared, I might as well kill myself. So, to you guys and outsiders, I'm the son of a high-ranking official, the only descendant of the Su family, the grandson of Commander Su, the heir of the Su family. I'm the heir of a billion-dollar fortune. But to me, I only have one identity, and that is. I'm a very important friend of Hwamin. Hearing this, Chin-chu wasn't surprised. It seemed that with Suyu's personality, he wasn't afraid of death and wasn't the kind of person who would run away in the face of danger. I wasn't afraid of death back then, and I'm not afraid now. So, don't fucking talk about Ian or Ivar. I don't care, I just want to save Mion safely. If you're worried that I'll steal your credit, you can just tell me, Siyu said boldly. Why would I? Chin Chu smiled faintly. This man, Siyu, always impressed him. Daddy, there's a fight outside, you should go check it out. Little Bean ran over and grabbed Chin Chu's hand. You guys are fighting. Chin Chu was puzzled. Who would be so stupid to fight in his house? Chapter 3094. Hearing the quarrel outside, Chin Chu stopped talking to Siyu. The two men walked out, and sure enough, they saw Jiang Shaowei pulling an agitated Wei Liao from afar. Wei Liao. That can't be. He doesn't like to make the first move. Siyu was puzzled. He had known Wei Liao for a long time and knew that he was an introverted person who didn't like to talk. But at this moment, he was indeed very agitated and making a ruckus. Did he quarrel with his wife? Chin Chu was slightly surprised. That's impossible. He always listens to Dr. Jiang. The two men talked as they walked. When they got closer, they saw that it was Wei Liao and his sister, Wei Ying. Wei Ying wasn't on the invitation list, so Chin Chu was surprised that she came. What's going on? Wei Liao. What's wrong with you? Siyu went over to comfort Wei Liao first. It's fine, I just wanted to teach my disappointing girl a lesson. Wei Liao's anger still hadn't subsided. Why are you here? Siyu looked back at Wei Ying and asked directly. Big brother Siyu. Wei Liao was a bit embarrassed. I told you I asked Ying to come. Jiang Shaowei interrupted. Don't, sister-in-law. I can't let you take the blame for this. This has nothing to do with you. It's like this, big brother. I had something to talk to Mingxi about today. I called him and he said he was on his way here, so I thought I should come here too. You didn't expect me to be here, did you? Wei Liao said coldly. No. I didn't want to hide it from you. Big brother, don't be angry. How can I not be angry? How many times have I told you not to contact that kid from the Shin family? You guys are already in the past. Wei Liao was a little agitated. Brother, he and I are now just friends. There's really nothing else. Friends? Who are you kidding? Do you think I'm you? Wei Liao was even angrier. He pointed at Wei Ying's nose and scolded her. Jiang Shaowei hurriedly hugged her husband's waist and coaxed him, Hubby, let's go back and talk. This is someone else's house. We're just being polite. It's not appropriate to do this. It's okay. We're not unfamiliar with Chin Chu. I'm just going to deal with some family matters. I believe he'll understand. After Wei Liao said that, everyone immediately looked at Chin Chu. President Wei, do as you please. Chin Chu was indifferent to this matter. Since it was a family matter, it was not appropriate for others to intervene. Shen Mingxi hadn't arrived yet, but from Wei Ying's words, he was on his way. What are you doing here? Go home. Don't make a fool of yourself. Wei Liao was even angrier when his sister refused to leave. Brother, I really need to talk to Mingxi about something urgent. Go out and talk. This is the Qin family's house, not a place for you to date. Old Wei, you're being too strict. You don't have to go that far. There are so many people here, and Shen Mingxi can't do anything to your sister anyway. Is it necessary? Su Yu spoke up for Wei Ying for the first time. Lord Su, it's none of your business. Wei Liao told Su Yu to stay out of it. For some reason, the media had been spreading the news that Shen Mingxi and Wei Ying were getting back together. But his sister's injury was still fresh in his mind. Even if Wei Ying could forgive him, Wei Liao and the Wei family couldn't accept it. At this moment, a black Porsche Cayenne slowly drove into South Hill Manor. Young Master Shen is here. Zhu Lingling glanced at the car and said in a low voice. Everyone fell into silence. Wei Liao's face grew darker. Chapter 3095. Sorry, there's a traffic jam. They said the whole city is on alert for a marathon. Shen Mingxi said with a smile. Then, he opened the car door and carried Tian out of the back seat. She was wearing a blue princess dress and hairpins, looking very glamorous. You're all here so early? Shen Mingxi asked proactively. Before the others could speak, Wei Liao pried Jiang Shaowei's hand away and strode over, punching Shen Mingxi hard in the face. This sudden punch made him very confused. He had no strength to resist at all. He swayed and almost fell to the ground. Woo! You're a bad guy. Why did you hit my uncle? You're a big bad guy. Tian rushed over in tears, grabbed Wei Liao's arm, and bit it hard. Perhaps it was because she was too angry and thought of Wei Liao as a bad guy, so she bit him like a crazy person. Wei Liao's hand was bitten so hard that it left a bloody mark on it. Wei Liao frowned in pain, but he couldn't do anything to a kid. He was only angry at the conflict between Shen Mingxi and his sister, so even though he was bitten, he didn't do anything. Gosh! Your dad was bitten. Holding Gao Buiyuan's hand, Little Bean glanced at Wei Yunchu beside her. Pudding also glanced at Wei Yunchu, but she didn't say anything. Wei Yunchu was wearing black shorts, a light blue short-sleeved shirt, and a black bow tie, looking like a little gentleman. The kids were about the same age, but Wei Yunchu was the least talkative. Seeing his dad hurt, Wei Yunchu rushed over without a word and grabbed Tintin's braid. Then, he pulled it hard. How dare you bite my dad? Are you a dog? Wei Yunchu yelled at Tian. Then, he rudely pulled her hair and flung her away, causing her to fall to the ground. Woo! You're all bad guys. I don't like it here. Uncle Shen. Let's go. Shen Mingxi hurried over to help her up. Seeing this, Wei Ying took out a wet wipe and handed it to Tian to wipe her dirty hands. Unexpectedly, he was pushed hard by her. Get lost, you bad woman. If it wasn't for you, things wouldn't be like this. Why are you so shamelessly clinging on to my Uncle Shen? Can't you find a man? Wei Ying was slightly shocked. Tian, shut up. You're not allowed to talk to your elders like that. Am I wrong? What kind of senior is she? My mom said that she's just a liar who likes to take the initiative to chase after men. She can't even give birth to a child, so no man likes her. She's trying to get close to Uncle Shen with ulterior motives. Tian seemed to be getting worse. Shen Mingxi hurriedly covered her mouth to stop her from continuing. Xiaowing, don't take offense at a child's words. Before Shen Mingxi could say anything, Jiang Shaowei was also a little angry. Don't take offense at a child's words. None of the kids here would say such things. It seems Hui Yanyan has instilled the idea of a bitch into this child, yeah. This little girl looks cute but has a vicious tongue. How can she do that? Zhu Lingling also found that she didn't like this child. Sis, is that Tian? I feel like she's possessed by a ghost. She's annoying, Little Bean said in a low voice. I haven't seen her in a long time. I don't know why she's like this, Pudding said. Hui Yanyan used to be a good friend of Huamin, and Tian often came here to play with the twins. At that time, Pudding didn't think Tian Tian was such a mean child. Did you hear that? How long are you going to be a bitch? Even Hui Yinyan's daughter looks down on you. Wei Liao looked at his sister with heartache. Chapter 3096. Big brother, don't call me. Go home. Hurry up. Wei Liao was scary when he was angry. Wow. It's the first time I've seen Uncle Wei so angry. It's scary. Little Bean said. He must be very angry. Otherwise, he wouldn't be like this. Yeah. Sis, your future father-in-law has a temper. Ha. Little Bean joked. Pudding rolled her eyes at Little Bean and didn't continue. Auntie. Hurry up and go home. My dad looks really angry. Wei Yunchu tugged at the corner of Wei Ying's dress. Okay. I know. Good boy, nephew. Wei Ying reached out and patted her nephew's head. Then she looked at him apologetically and said in a low voice, Big brother Mingxi, I'll talk to you about that thing at your company tomorrow. Okay. Don't come to my Uncle Shin again. We don't like you, Tian Tian interrupted. Wei Ying glanced at Tian Tian with mixed feelings and stood up. Big brother, don't be angry. I'll leave. Old Wei, what are you doing? You're happy just because you forced the girl to leave. Tang Chuan was speechless. He wanted to stop the fight, but Qin Ning wouldn't let him. Qin Ning thought it was the Wei family's business and outsiders shouldn't interfere. I'm doing it for her own good, Wei Liao said. Okay, since they're all gone, let's eat. I'm starving. Tang Chuan tried to lighten the mood, not wanting everyone to be so nervous. Okay. Sit down in the dining room. We're ready to eat, Qin Chu announced as the host. Everyone was tactful enough to walk inside. Rick supported Cece as they walked inside. Cece, how far along are you? Zhu Lingling asked curiously. Her eyes fell on Cece's belly. Cece was wearing a peacock blue dress. It was a Korean style and was very loose, suitable for pregnant women. Her shoes were flat-soled. It was obvious that both she and Rick cared about the baby. Almost 3 months. Cece smiled. So fast. 3 months. That's about the same time as my Mion's second child. Ha, you can be her in-laws. Zhu Lingling continued to gossip. Upon hearing about Huamin's second child, everyone fell silent. Qin Chu, on the other hand, looked calm. Su Yu really couldn't take it anymore. His eyes hurt a little. After rubbing them, he strode into the room and stopped listening to Zhu Lingling and Cece's conversation. Lingling, don't mention Mian all the time. Everyone feels bad. Gao Ran kindly reminded her. So what? Isn't my Mian fine? He'll be back in a few days. I've prepared so many baby clothes. It's not like he's dead. Why don't you bring him up? Compared to other people, Zhu Lingling was more open-minded. She was sure that Huamin was fine and that he would come back. Therefore, she didn't hold back when she talked about him. Auntie Lingling is right. Mommy will be back in a few days. Behind them, Little Bean said sweetly. Everyone walked in, but Shen Mingxi held Tiantian's hand and stayed at the door. When Pudding saw this, her hand holding Qin Chu's hand paused. Daddy. Yeah. Qin Chu looked down at his daughter. Look, Uncle Shen doesn't want to come in, Pudding reminded her daddy. Qin Chu turned around. Shen Mingxi was holding a box in his hand. He must have just taken it out of the car. President Qin, this is a gift for your recovery. You're too kind, President Shin. No, no, no. I've done a lot of bad things in the past, but you and Dr. Hua are magnanimous enough to forgive me. I just wanted to see you today and didn't have any other intentions. I didn't think Wei Liao would get so worked up. I'm sorry that I delayed your banquet. Shen Mingxi looked at Qin Chu apologetically. Chapter 3097. It's okay. We're all good friends and won't mind. My kids are crying. I won't stay for dinner. I'll visit you another day. Compared to the others, Shen Mingxi wasn't as comfortable as the others. He was still polite to Qin Chu and kept a distance from him. Since you're here, come in and sit for a while. After recovering from his illness, Qin Chu was touched to find so many friends who cared about him and his kids. No, I'm not free today. I'll treat you another day and discuss the cooperation between GK and the Shen Corporation. Shen Mingxi smiled sincerely. Okay. Hearing Shen Mingxi's words, Qin Chu didn't insist. Taking the gift, Qin Chu held Pudding's hand and walked inside. The gift wasn't opened, but from the packaging, it seemed to be a set of expensive porcelain. Daddy, yeah. Why doesn't Uncle Wei Liao like Uncle Shen and his sister being together? They had some conflicts before, Qin Chu explained. I think Auntie Wei Ying likes Uncle Shen, but Uncle Wei wants to separate them. Wow! Is this what they mean by breaking up a loving couple? Pudding, you're so gossipy today. Daddy thought you were possessed by Little Bean. Ha! I'm in a good mood because Daddy is recovering from his illness. Pudding was rarely in a good mood. After everyone sat down, Qin Chu walked in with Pudding but didn't see Shen Mingxi. Yeah. Where's young Master Shen? Tang Chuan asked Qin Chu. He left. He left. Tang Chuan was surprised. Yeah. He said he had something to do and wouldn't eat. Ha. I guess he's afraid we'll get mad at him. Tang Chuan chuckled. Wei Liao's face was still grim. They weren't used to his serious expression. After Wei Ying left, so did Shen Mingxi. Old Wei, do you think Ying Ying will continue to meet Shen Mingxi behind your back after she leaves? You still owe me. Qin Ning secretly pinched Tang Chuan's arm. She was annoyed by how he liked to watch the drama unfold. Ouch, don't pinch me, it hurts, it hurts. If you go out, I don't care what you do, but don't do it under my nose. Wei Liao said. All right. Let's not talk about being unhappy. Let's eat. Qin Chu's recovery is a good thing. Jiang Xiaowei immediately tried to smooth things over. The two elders of the Qin clan served the dishes one after another. Then, the two old men and Qin Ning's father went to eat in another small restaurant. Leaving space for these young people, thank you for taking care of us while I was sick. Thank you for taking good care of Pudding and Little Bean. Qin Chu rarely spoke politely. Therefore, when they were being so polite, everyone felt quite embarrassed. Brother-in-law, don't say such things. We are a family. Get out of here. Who's your family? Shameless. Qin Ning pinched Tang Chuan's face again. Hey, Ning Ning, you can't deny it. Your dad agreed to our relationship. If you don't believe me, we can go over there and ask him. Tang Chuan was always good at livening up the atmosphere. Here's a toast to all of you. Thank you to all my friends. Then, Qin Chu was about to toast when Little Bean scolded him. Daddy, you're not allowed to drink, ahem. Pudding coughed to remind him. The foreign old man who operated on you said you're a patient and must take good care of yourself. You can't drink. A little red wine is fine. Qin Chu chuckled. You can't do that either. Here, I'll give you mine. Good girl. Little Bean ran over and handed her glass to Chin Chu. It was also red, but it was blueberry juice. Chin Chu held the glass and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Son, your future daughter-in-law seems very powerful. Will she control our whole family after she marries you? Gao Ran teased his son. Chapter 3098. Dad, what are you thinking? Little Bean is very cute. She's not strong at all. Compared with Pudding, she's very gentle. Pudding is gentle too, Wei Yunchu corrected them. Looking at the two boys who didn't seem to understand what was going on and defending their future daughter-in-law, everyone burst into laughter. The atmosphere instantly became a lot better. Because of the incident with Shen Mingxi and Wei Ying, they were in no mood to continue eating. Daddy, drink it. Try it. It's good. Little Bean stood before Chin Chu and looked at him without blinking. He was afraid that she would drink. This girl was very responsible. Okay. Daddy, try it. Finally, Chin Chu had no choice but to take a sip of the blueberry juice. Is it good? Little Bean asked expectantly. Yeah. It's good. Then drink it up, Chin Chu, ha ha ha. Little Bean, your dad was a hero. But in the end, you subdued him. Gao Ran couldn't stop laughing. Uncle Gao Ran, you're wrong. I didn't subdue him. I cared about him. Yes, yes, yes. You're right. You're pretty, so everything you say makes sense. Gao Ran felt that Little Bean's cuteness could melt his heart. So, Chin Chu, do you still want to toast me? Rick joked, which was rare of him. The blueberry juice is good. I'll toast to everyone with the blueberry juice and wine. Thank you. Seeing Chin Chu's sincerity, everyone raised their glasses. During the dinner, Chin Chu received a phone call and his expression changed slightly. Enjoy the dinner. I'll be back soon with a guest. Chin Chu stood up. Brother-in-law, don't worry. Ha. I'll take care of them for you. After saying that, Tang Chuan immediately waved his hand. Come, come, come. Don't be so polite. Eat and drink, drink and eat. Ha. Master Tang, you're really shameless. You think you're the owner. Su Yu laughed at him. Yeah, I'll be a part of the Qin family sooner or later. Tang Chuan held Qin Ning's hand and smiled. If your mother hears this, she's going to explode again, right? Su Yu was amused. If the pot explodes, then let it explode. Anyway, I want to eat popcorn. Tang Chuan disagreed. When it came to his mother's opposition, Tang Chuan's approach had always been very clear. That was to always protect Qin Ning, even if it meant going against her mother. However, he didn't think that this was an unfilial act. He knew his mother's strong character. It seems, it's better to have a daughter. Cece, is it a boy or a girl? Didn't they say that overseas technology is so advanced that they can tell the gender of the baby at a very early age? Zhu Lingling asked. Jiang Xiaowei said, that's right. That's why a lot of pregnant women from rich families or celebrities go to Hong Kong as soon as they're pregnant. They can tell the gender first. Some people want a boy, but when they see it's a girl, they abort it. It's so cruel. That's so stupid. If everyone has a boy, they'll be gay. They won't even be able to get a wife. Zhu Lingling said indignantly. Honey, watch what you say. After all, there are children here, Gao Ran reminded her. It's okay, Uncle Gao. We understand what Auntie Lingling means, Pudding said calmly. Gao ran. So, is Auntie Cece pregnant with a boy or a girl? Pudding tilted her head and looked at Cece. Hearing this, Rick gently put his hand on Cece's shoulder. We didn't look, Rick said. Cece also smiled. We don't care about that. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. It's our child anyway. I wonder if it's a boy or a girl in my mommy's belly. Pudding sighed slightly and thought of her mommy. Little Bean, why are you talking about this? Pudding quickly changed the topic. Dr. Hua must be pregnant with Neza. Suyu suddenly said. Chapter 3099. Neza. Tang Chuan froze. The others were also confused. They didn't seem to understand Suyu's joke. Ever since she got pregnant with this child, there have been so many disasters. I think this child must be very powerful, so he took his mother through the tribulation. Suyu said. Ha ha ha. Tribulation. Lord Su, have you read too many cultivation novels? Tang Chuan laughed at him. This soup is really good. I'll get more for everyone. Jiang Shaowei obviously didn't want them to continue the topic of Huamin. Every time Huamin was mentioned, everyone was sad, so she changed the topic. Everyone knew what she meant, so no one continued the topic. In the study, when Qin Chu walked in, Qing immediately stood up from the sofa. President Qin. Sit, Qing. Emichim, it had been a long time since they last met. Qing looked very haggard. He was wearing dark gray shorts and a white short-sleeved shirt. There were faint scars on his arms and thighs. During the years he worked for Hua Xiqian, he was often injured because of his important missions. When Qing worked for Hua Xiqian, he was very cold. Now that he had returned to normal life, he was much more humane. President Qin, are you okay? I'm fine. That's good. Qing nodded. How's the child recovering? Qin Chu asked. Very good. I've been observing him and there are no signs of rejection. I asked several doctors to check on him and they all said the surgery was very good. Thank you very much. Qing, don't be so polite. Do you know why I came to see you today? I know, President Qin. Listen to me first, Qin Chu interrupted Qing. Okay, go ahead. If Hua Xiqian didn't die, you would be in a dangerous situation. From what I know about him, even if he didn't come back, he would send people to kill you. After all, you betrayed him. I know. Qing nodded again. That's why I've already arranged for you and your child to leave this place. Leave? Qing was a little surprised. You don't have any relatives or friends in the first place. That child doesn't have any relatives or friends either. The two of you can live wherever you go. It's better to change places and start anew. Qing bit his lip and fell silent. When I was hospitalized, I know that Siyu looked for you. You've told him everything you know. I won't ask you anything else. Take these. What's this? Qing took the paper bag that Qin Chu handed to him. Open it and have a look. Qing followed Qin Chu's instructions and slowly opened it. He found a title deed and a check for 3 million yuan inside. This is a house I bought for you in Hong City. Your name is written on the title deed. It's not big, only about 100 square meters, but it should be enough for you and your child. I didn't buy you a car because I didn't know what brand you liked. Take this money, you can cash it out at the bank. In that city, 3 million yuan isn't a lot, but it's enough for you and your child to live comfortably. At this point, you can't go back to Hua Xiqian, and you can't stay with me. So, start a new life, a normal life back in China. President Qin, how can I take this? I don't deserve it. Qing's face was full of guilt, and his heart was full of bitterness. In fact, he didn't do anything for Qin Chu. He just passed on some information, some of which were fake. Qin Chu saved him at a critical moment. Otherwise, he would have been killed by Hua Xiqian's people. Take it. Let's not talk about this. Anyways, leave this place and get out of here as soon as possible. Qin Chu patted Qing's shoulder. Just as he got up and was about to leave, Qing suddenly yelled behind him, President Qin, wait a minute. Qin Chu stopped in his tracks. His face was still as calm as water. He seemed to know that Qing had something to say to him. Chapter 3100. President Qin, I have another piece of news. I want to tell you. Qing's voice trembled. Qin Chu didn't say anything. He just slowly turned his head. Although I don't know where Hua Xiqian's private island is, I know that there are some photos locked in a drawer in his study. What photos? Qin Chu looked at Qing calmly. It's a set of photos of islands. But all the islands in the world look the same. There's no way to tell. Qin Chu was a little disappointed. Yes, just like Bali, the Maldives, Phuket, and Saipan. If you took a picture of any island by the sea, they all looked the same. There was no way to tell which island it was, but I also noticed that there's a photo at the end. It's a city with a symbol. I think that since this photo appeared in the photos of those islands, there must be some connection. Where? Qin Chu raised his sword-like eyebrows. The Sydney Opera House. Australia. Qin Chu suppressed the ecstasy in his heart, but his expression was still very calm. Qing nodded. But Hua Xiqian doesn't let us go abroad every time. He should have a group of people over there, Qing added. I understand. Qin Chu nodded. I don't know if this information is useful or not. It seems like the scope is quite big. Qing lowered his head, a little ashamed. No, you've already told me enough. Thank you, Qing. No. President Qin, please don't say that. I owe you a lot. Qing looked very conflicted. Let's not talk about that. It's all in the past. Take the things and leave as soon as possible. Sooner or later, Hua Xiqian and I will come to an end. Emichim, I hope you can find Miss Hua soon. Oh, no, I mean your wife. Qing had been with Hua Xiqian for too long and had always called Hua Min Miss Hua Min. However, in front of Qin Chu, he suddenly felt that it was rude to call Hua Min that way. In the end, Qin Chu watched as Qing left South Hill Manor. Qin Chu knew that he would not return. He would not be involved in this battle again. He had indeed used some special methods on Qing. You could call it a trick or a persuasion. Qing had been with Hua Xiqian for a few years, so he knew what was going on. He had asked before, and Suyu had also asked when he was unconscious, but Qing didn't say a word. What was the reason? It was very simple. After following Hua Xiqian for so long, Qing still had feelings for Hua Xiqian as a master and servant. He didn't want to reveal everything until the very end. After all, Hua Xiqian was alone, while there were so many people here. Qin Chu alone was scary enough, and now Suyu was here as well. Once they found Hua Xiqian, they would chop him into pieces, right? Qing didn't want his former master to end up in a miserable state, so he kept the clues about the island a secret. However, after Qin Chu used his last trick, Qing couldn't handle it anymore. In fact, some people were like this. If you beat them, scolded them, or even tortured them, they might not be afraid. Qing wasn't the kind of man who was afraid of death. Therefore, special methods had to be used to deal with him. Ching wasn't afraid of anything, but he was afraid of others being nice to him. Perhaps it was because of this that Chin Chu used this trick. Sure enough, under the pressure of Chin Chu's kindness, Ching couldn't hide his last secret anymore. He knew that with Chin Chu's intelligence, even if he only gave a general description of a place, he would use the fastest time to find Huamin. After Ching left, Chin Chu stood by the window and whispered, "Australia, right? Hua Si Chen. We will meet again soon." Chapter 3101. Inside Shen Mingxi's private mansion, because of Wei Liao, Shen Mingxi didn't have time to have dinner at Chin Chu's house. When he got back, he went to work and left Tian Tian in the care of Miss Fang. Since it was the weekend and Tian Tian didn't have to go to school, she was at ease in the Shen family as if she owned the house. To be honest, Miss Fang didn't like this kid and thought she had a strange personality. There were even times when the words he said and the look in his eyes were a little malicious. On TV, the reporters were interviewing Wei Ying about her new store and she stood in front of the camera in high spirits to answer the questions. Tian Tian turned off the TV immediately. "Miss Fang. What's up, Miss Tian Tian? Who do you think is prettier, Wei Ying or my mommy?" Tian Tian suddenly asked with a straight face. Miss Fang didn't know how to answer the question. She had never seen Hui Yanyan in person and had only seen some photos on Tiantian's cell phone. "Tell me. Is it that hard to answer?" Tian Tian was a little angry. "Your mommy is prettier." Miss Fang knew if she said Wei Ying was prettier, the kid would be angry. Sure enough, Tian Tian said smugly, "Yes, I think so too. If my mommy wasn't prettier, Uncle Shin wouldn't have divorced Wei Ying and married my mommy and me. Don't you think so?" "Miss Tian Tian. I have to correct you. Whether she's pretty or not, even a fairy has a moral bottom line. She can't break up other people's families and be the third party. Do you understand? That's not right." Miss Fang felt the kid's morals weren't right. "What are you talking about? My mom isn't a homewrecker." "What do you know? She dated Uncle Shin before Wei Ying, and they've been in love with each other for a long time. That woman, Wei Ying, used despicable means to take Uncle Shin away from my mom. If there's a third party, then Wei Ying is the homewrecker." "Miss Tian Tian, who told you this?" Miss Fang was shocked. Tian Tian looked about 5 or 6 years old. How could she say so much? "Do I even need to tell you? Even a blind person would understand. You're just a nanny, a servant. What do you know? Don't think that you can reason with me just because you're older. In this house, I'm the master, and you're a servant. What right do you have to lecture me?" After hearing Tiantian's words, Miss Fang was speechless. This was the first time she had seen such a child. She wasn't like this in front of Shen Mingxi. She always looked weak and called him Uncle Shin. It was so sweet. Mr. Shin really doted on her, but, "My mommy is mentally ill and might not be able to come back to this house. But I'll never let Wei Ying in." Tian Tian sneered and turned to go upstairs. Fang Jia, who was mopping the floor, paused for a moment. She held the mop in her hand and felt very upset. He was already so scheming at such a young age. What would happen when he grew up? On a deserted island, Huamin played with his old cell phone. She regretted that she didn't learn how to hack. Although she had hacked into Lin Mingyu's computer and peeked at his confidential data, that was with the help of a computer. Now, facing an old cell phone with her bare hands, she was helpless. She regretted that she didn't learn how to hack. If Lu Yan were here, she would have done it in a matter of minutes. At this moment, faint roars came from the basement. Huamin stood up slowly. Chapter 3102. This time, Huamin didn't panic and fear like before because she knew that Jack's freedom had been restricted. No matter how strong he was, the iron chain could still imprison him. Huamin carefully climbed down the ladder with a flashlight in her hand. When she passed by the storage room, she took some food and pushed open the door to the small room. "Bitch, let me out, or I'll kill you." Jack glared at Huamin fiercely. "You'll kill me if I let you out," Huamin said calmly. "Give me the key. Trust me, or you'll die a horrible death." Jack tried his best to persuade Huamin, but she wasn't moved. So, he lost his patience and slandered her, even cursing her. "I do have the key, but do you think I'll give it to you? Bitch, bitch. Go to hell." Jack's eyes were like a beast's. He wanted to tear Huamin into pieces. At this moment, Huamin suddenly felt lucky that she hadn't been persuaded by this cunning guy. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to survive. It seemed that Jack's appearance and the fact that he was locked up in the basement for no reason made the situation clear. Hua Xiqian probably felt that she couldn't suppress her second personality anymore, so she locked herself up in advance. She also left the key in the wooden house. To be exact, she left it for Huamin. Hua Xiqian knew that Jack had always been a hot-tempered guy. He had no pity for Huamin. It seemed that Hua Xiqian still thought about Huamin even at the most critical moment. At least he left her a way out. Huamin was grateful to him for this. "If you're done scolding, eat something. I really don't want you to starve to death. After all, I'm quite afraid of being alone on the island," Huamin said as he stood far away from Jack. Looking at the ham and some hardtack that Huamin had thrown on the ground, Jack was annoyed. "That's all you're giving me?" He seemed rather dissatisfied. "What else can we do? Do you still want to eat abalone and lobster?" "I wish I could, but unfortunately, I don't have one." Huamin didn't think much of it. "You're really... Can't you make some porridge or something?" Jack looked disgusted. "What? Porridge? What kind of joke was this? You wanted to kill me, so why would I cook porridge for you? Was there something wrong with my brain? I'm kind, but I'm not a saint. Thank you. For a crazy person like you, it's good enough that you have something to eat. If it weren't for the fact that you're sharing a body with Hua Xiqian, I wouldn't even bother to feed you. I'm not going to eat this garbage. Then starve to death. By the way, here's the water. You can drink it all and use this empty bottle to pee." After saying this, Huamin rolled a bottle of water across the ground and got up to leave. "Stop, don't go. Come back here." Jack didn't seem to give up. However, Huamin ignored him and continued walking. "Ouch, my leg hurts. I think I'm having a cramp." "Huamin, aren't you a doctor?" Chapter 3103. At South Hill Manor in China. After the guests left, South Hill Manor was empty. "Sir, you haven't fully recovered yet. Go and rest. I'll take care of things here." Uncle Lee walked over. "I'm fine, Uncle Lee. You don't have to treat me like a patient. I'm back to normal." "That won't do. After all, you just had surgery. I saw the old madam made you some tonic soup in the kitchen. You should rest." Chin Chu nodded, turned around, and went upstairs to the study. Then, he sat down in a chair and a string of numbers appeared in his mind. He dialed the complicated numbers on his cell phone. 10 seconds later, a girl's image appeared in the air. "Hello, I'm Lu Yen. Where are you?" "What? Even you're interested in my whereabouts? Lu Yen chuckled. No, I'm not interested. I just want to see how far you are from where I'm going. I'm in the air, on a private jet. Lu Yen leaned against the leather sofa in the inner cabin and stuck out her tongue playfully. Where are you flying to? Brazil. I'm going to collect a debt. Collect a debt? Qin Chu frowned slightly. She's going to collect a debt, Xiao Fei interrupted. Shut up. Lu Yen glared at Xiao Fei. What's going on? It's an enemy of mine. I've been looking for him. Someone saw him in Brazil, so I'm going to kill him, Lu Yen said casually. She made it sound as if killing someone was as easy as killing a chicken. Then don't go. I have something more important for you. What is it? Hearing Qin Chu's tone, Lu Yen knew it must be something important. Now, it seemed that the important thing Qin Chu was talking about had something to do with her sister. I found some clues that might lead to your sister's whereabouts. Really? Lu Yen stood up in excitement, unable to suppress her ecstasy. Ah-Ching said Sydney, so it must be Australia, which means it's close to Australia. Check all the big and small private islands around Australia, the faster the better. Find out which island owner is Chinese. No, Hua Xiqian, that cunning guy, would never use his own name. He wouldn't even use a Chinese name. Maybe it's a foreigner's name. Anyway, check all the islands around Australia. Australia? That's not far away. Where did you get the information? Is it accurate? Lu Yen was hesitant. You don't have to ask me where I got it from, but the news is definitely reliable. It's definitely from Australia. Qin Chu believed that the last piece of information Ah-Ching told him was absolutely true. He wasn't spouting nonsense. This was human nature. Okay. I'll check it now. But I don't think it's that easy, Lu Yen said. Yeah. Maybe he installed some electronic devices on some of the islands to block the signals. So, you have to check the locations of the islands from the ancient archives. Also, you have to pay attention to which islands have frequent visitors recently. There should be records. Australia is so big and has so many surveillance cameras. It's impossible that they can't capture any of them. I don't believe Hua Xiqian would be so careful. Qin Chu was sure that Hua Xiqian would make a mistake. I got it. If the information is accurate and my sister is really in Australia, I think I'll be able to find her in less than 3 days, Lu Yen said smugly. 3 days is too long. Lu Yen, I'll fly there tonight. Let's meet in Sydney, Qin Chu said. Chapter 3104. At night, Hua Min went down to the basement to see Hua Xiqian, or rather, Jack. When she opened the door and entered, he was leaning against the wall, sitting there. He didn't eat the food she gave him, but he drank all the water. It seemed like he was very thirsty. Hearing her footsteps, he slowly looked up. Mian, you're here, his tone surprised Hua Min slightly. Mian, how long have I been unconscious? He asked hoarsely. Don't you know what happened? I know, of course I know. Is it because Jack is coming out to make trouble? So. I locked myself up and put the key in the room. You saw it, right? When did you wake up? Hua Min looked at him calmly. An hour ago, he said calmly. Then why didn't you call me? Because I knew you would come. Haven't you been bringing me, Jack food and water all this time? But he didn't eat it. Hua Min looked at the untouched food and said. Yes, Jack is very suspicious. He won't eat the food you give him. He's afraid that you'll do something to it. Then let him starve to death, Huamin said. Hua Xiqian smiled faintly. Huamin carefully observed Hua Xiqian's expression. Indeed, the hostility in his eyes was gone. But, Mian, can you unlock the door for me? Can you let me out? I can't stay in this dark basement forever. Let you out? Do you think I'm that stupid? But if you don't let me go, my subordinates will come after you if they can't see me. You're so smart, you shouldn't do something so stupid. When will your subordinates come? Huamin had always wanted to know how long it would take for them to come so that he could find a way to leave the island. Mian, are you trying to trick me? Hua Xiqian smiled. Yes. Do you think I would tell you such a secret? That's good. You can continue to stay here. After speaking, Huamin turned around and left. In an instant, Hua Xiqian's eyes turned sinister. Oh, by the way, you seem to be very thirsty. Here, this is for you. Huamin picked up a bottle of water and threw it over. Then, she turned around and left the room. Hua Xiqian didn't call out to her because he knew that with Huamin's personality, she wouldn't let him go so easily. After returning to the cabin, Huamin slowly took out the medicine he had found in Hua Xiqian's box. That was the medicine that suppressed his second personality, and it was indeed gone. It seemed that the second personality, Jack, had appeared because the medicine was gone. Huamin carefully looked at the medicine bottle. The ingredients were clearly written on it. If an outsider saw it, they wouldn't think much of it, but Huamin was a doctor and was very sensitive to the ingredients. At night, Huamin simply cooked some porridge and calculated the time in his mind as if he was waiting for something. At South Hill Manor, after calling Lu Yan, Qin Chu walked out of the study. He bumped into Qin Ning. Big brother, are you going out? Yeah. Are the kids asleep? Little Bean is asleep. Pudding is still playing on her phone, Qin Ning said. You can stay at home for a few days. Uncle is here, so you can help me take care of Pudding and Little Bean. Big brother, you're going out. Qin Ning guessed that her brother was going somewhere far away. Yeah. I'm going to Australia. That far? Qin Ning was slightly surprised at the mention of Australia. Chapter 3105. Emichim, when will you be back? I don't know yet. Qin Ning, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Qin Chu patted Qin Ning's head lovingly. Big brother, have you heard from my sister-in-law? Yes. Qin Chu nodded. Are you sure you want to go alone? I don't want you to face Hua Xiqian alone. Qin Ning thought it would be another fierce battle between her brother and Hua Xiqian. It's okay. Hua Xiqian isn't that scary. I'll ask Tang Chuan to go with you. I'll feel better if he helps you. Qin Ning picked up her cell phone and was about to call Tang Chuan. Ning, to be honest, this trip will be very dangerous. I didn't even ask Su Yu, let alone Tang Chuan. But don't worry, I have helpers abroad. Really? Emichim, isn't Rick going too? Isn't his family very powerful? They don't know if he's not going. After I leave, if anyone asks, just tell them. But, Qin Ning wanted to say something, but Qin Chu didn't give her a chance. It's about time. I'll go now, Ning. Big brother, aren't you going to tell them? Help me tell them that when I come back, I'll definitely bring their mommy with me. Then Qin Chu hurried downstairs with a briefcase. The driver drove him to the airport. Qin Ning had mixed feelings. She knew how much her brother loved her sister-in-law. Perhaps no one in the world wanted to see her more than he did. On the top floor of a commercial building in a country in the Middle East, Sir, Mr. Nalo is here, Ian's subordinate reported carefully. My brother is here. Ian raised his finger and put it to his lips with a faint smile. Then, a tall blond man in a black shirt walked in. His aura was very similar to Ian's, but his eyes weren't as gloomy and strange. Ian, where did Huasichen go? Kid, aren't you going to call me big brother? Ian laughed. Cut the crap. Where did you take him? What are you talking about? Why did you say that I did it? I'm looking for him too. You should know that. Cut the crap. If it weren't for you pressuring him, why would he be like this? I just can't stand it. You can't catch the professor and his daughter, so you put your attention on him. In fact, the professor's other daughter disappeared in the country many years ago, and the professor himself didn't look for her. Are you sure you want to look for the legendary professor's eldest daughter? Brother, you're wrong. Not only am I going to look for her. I think I already know who she is. You mean you found it? Nalo narrowed his eyes slightly at his brother. Yes, I think that person must be her. Then where is she now? Nalo didn't seem to believe Ian's words. Unfortunately, that woman was taken away by Huasichen. They disappeared together. Ian wasn't stupid. On the contrary, he was very smart and cunning. Huasichen had repeatedly begged Ian to extend the deadline, but in the end, he mysteriously disappeared. He didn't believe that Huasichen had jumped off a cliff to commit suicide. Therefore, there was only one possibility. It was very likely that Huasichen's beloved woman was the long-lost eldest daughter of the professor he was looking for. Of course, he wouldn't know until he caught the woman and did a DNA comparison. So, where is Huasichen now? Nalo seemed to want to know about him. Chapter 3106. How would I know? If I knew, I wouldn't be waiting here. I would have caught him long ago. Didn't you go to China? Nalo stared into Ian's eyes, obviously not believing him. You're well informed. Ian sneered. Nalo didn't speak, he just stared at him. But since you know that I went to China, you should know that Lu Yen bombed my plane. I almost didn't make it back, okay? Aren't you still alive? You're standing here alive. Nalo's face was expressionless. Okay, my brother. Your words are always so unique and your face is always so calm. Ian smiled. Seeing that Nalo didn't speak, Ian continued, if you're here to find out where that guy is, then unfortunately, I don't know where he is. I've been playing cat and mouse with Lu Yen and haven't had time to catch him. How about this? Since you're free these days, you can go and find out where he is. If you find him, you can have Huasichen and I can have his sweetheart. What do you think? Do you think it's possible? If I find him, do you think I'll give him to you? Nalo sneered. Then we'll have to rely on our own abilities. Ian spread his hands, looking helpless and benevolent. Nalo turned to leave. Hey, my brother. I advise you to give up on that guy. I think a woman is more suitable for you. That thing is hard to deal with. Shut up. Fuck you. One more word and I'll tear your mouth off. Nalo turned his head abruptly and cursed at Ian. Surprisingly, Ian wasn't angry. He just smiled. Then, Nalo left the building with his subordinates. After Nalo left, one of Ian's subordinates approached him cautiously. Sir, should we follow Mr. Nalo? Why? Ian glanced at his subordinate from the corner of his eyes. Mr. Nalo was so disrespectful to you. I was wondering if we should follow him and find a chance. The subordinate made a throat-slitting gesture. However, as soon as he finished, he was slapped hard by Ian, and he saw stars. That's my brother, but Lord Nolop said he was going to kill you. He was just saying it out of anger. Did you really take it seriously? He and I came from the same mother's womb. How can we kill each other? Yes, yes, yes. Sir is right. This lowly one deserves to die. The subordinate was terrified. He wanted to win Ian's favor, but he didn't expect to anger him. He really didn't expect that a bloodthirsty guy like Ian would actually have a so-called brotherhood. This was really surprising. His subordinate scrambled to his feet and was about to leave. Ian called out to her again. Wait a minute. Sir, do you have any other orders? Find an expert to follow them. Don't be discovered. Yes, sir. Then find a chance to kill the people around Nalo. Just kill 2 of them. Give him a warning and tell him that I'm not that easy to bully, Ian said word by word. Yes, sir. Ian was famous for his fickleness and his mood swings. He made the decision 1 second and changed it the next second. For example, a moment ago, he had bragged about his brotherhood, but in the next second, he wanted to kill the people around his brother as a warning to others. On the private plane, Xiao Fei. Lu Yan ran over with a smile and sat down beside Xiao Fei. What? Xiao Fei looked at her warily. Chapter 3107. Hee, I have a favor to ask. Lu Yan continued to smile. No. Fuck, I haven't even said what it is and you're already rejecting me. How can you do this? Lu Yan exploded. You don't have to say it. I can tell from your fawning expression that it's nothing good. Xiao Fei continued to play the game on his tablet. No way, it's just a little thing. Do you want it? Take off your clothes and lie down. I'll satisfy you after this round. Fuck you, Psycho Xiao. Are you fucking shameless? Lu Yan exploded. Xiao Fei was usually quiet and reserved, but, when it came to critical moments, every word he said was a classic. Lu Yan almost fainted from anger, ahem. At the door, one of her subordinates coughed and reminded her. Why are you standing at the door? Are you a door god? I'm in a dilemma. Should I let you get down to business first, boss, or report your new information first? What business? Lu Yan wondered what was wrong with her subordinate today. Ahem. Boss, are you and young Master Qiao? You guys should do your business first. Ha. I'll come back later. Is 20 minutes enough? Then, the subordinate turned around and was about to run. You fucking come back here. Lu Yan picked up a trash can and threw it at him. Luckily, the guy dodged quickly, or else his head would have exploded. He had been with Lu Yan for a long time and was used to her violence. When other mercenary commanders mentioned Lu Yan, they didn't call her second young mistress. Instead, they called her Berserk Luoli. Yes, Lu Yan was young and had a delicate baby face. However, she had a violent temper and would kill at any moment. Sometimes, she would use big moves and all kinds of explosives. No wonder even Ian would get a headache whenever he saw her. She was indeed the professor's daughter. In comparison, Huamin was much quieter. Ha ha ha, boss, it's true. It's okay, we're all adults. I understand. Understand my ass. Come back here or I'll break your legs, Lu Yan threatened. Xiao Fei was still calmly playing a parkour game on his tablet. He didn't even look up as if he was used to this kind of violent scene. Don't. Boss, I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now. Speak. Lu Yan crossed her legs and glared at her subordinate. Our informant in Brazil just said that Pierce is now swimming in South Beach with a few young Brazilian models and a star player accompanying him. I wonder if we should make a move now. No need. Aw. Boss, are we just going to let him go like this? Of course not. It's just that I have something more important to do now. The plane has changed its route. We're going to Australia now. Then we can find someone to kill him in Brazil. We don't have to do it ourselves. No, Lu Yen said without hesitation. Boss, are you afraid that those people are unreliable and will ruin your plan and alert the enemy? No. Chapter 3108. No. Xiao Fei still refused mercilessly. If you don't agree, I won't be friends with you. Humph. Captain, are we in Syria? Ask this guy to get off the plane, Lu Yen said deliberately. Hearing this, Xiao Fei put down the tablet on the table. Hey, my lady, are you kidding me? If I don't agree, you'll turn on me. Are you a female bandit? No, I'm a bandit, one level higher than a bandit. Thank you. Lu Yen smiled shamelessly. Xiao Fei, do you love me or not? Xiao Fei, if I say I love you, you'll take advantage of me. If I say I don't love you, you'll ask me to get off the plane. So, do I love you or not? Xiao Fei was dumbfounded. Ha 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 ha. Are you fucking funny? I'm dying of laughter. I haven't seen you in such a good mood in a long time. It seems you're determined to rescue Sister Mian this time. Xiao Fei knew that Lu Yen must know that she could save Hua Mian if she laughed so heartlessly. That's right. I'll see my sister soon. I don't want her to go home yet. Where are we going? Xiao Fei was puzzled. To my place. My sister rarely comes out. I want to treat her to a meal of cobra meat, to satisfy my craving. Xiao Fei, Sister Mian is so quiet. Don't scare her, okay? Anyway, I want to treat my sister well. Let's rescue her first. We don't know which island she's hiding on. Xiao Fei sighed slightly. As long as she's in Australia, it'll be easy. In Australia, I have connections with both the government and the mafia. I have friends in both. Lu Yan was very confident, then she sat down beside Xiao Fei and hugged his arm coquettishly. Xiao Fei, don't you want to do me a little favor? Just one. Xiao Fei lowered his head and glanced at the view under Lu Yan's collar. If you want to seduce me, I'll think about it. Damn it. You're trying to take advantage of me again. Lu Yan immediately knocked his head. Okay, stop messing around. What do you want me to do? Tell me. Xiao Fei finally gave in to Lu Yan. Ha, so you agree. Cut the crap. Xiao Fei didn't want to waste any more time with her. It's like this. Ha, I'll go first. Don't get too excited after I finish. I know it's not a good thing from your foreshadowing. Xiao Fei glanced at Lu Yan. Hee hee. I'll tell you what happened. Then Lu Yan told him about the incident. No, I won't do it. Xiao Fei's face darkened. Oh, just this once, okay? Lu Yan continued to act cute. I'm not doing it. It's too embarrassing. Xiao Fei shook his head. What are you afraid of? This isn't Russia. Not many people know you, why don't you look for someone else? Why me? Xiao Fei wondered. Because you're the most good-looking among us. Are you kidding me? I'm not as good-looking as you. Why don't you do it yourself? Xiao Fei said angrily. But that old guy doesn't like women. He's always lusted after men, so you're willing to give your man away. Just as bait. I'm not really giving him away, Lu Yen said. Are you really willing to do that? Xiao Fei looked angry. I can't catch the wolf without risking the child. Lu Yen looked innocent. Chapter 3109. Aren't you afraid that the baby will die before you can trap the wolf? Pooh! Don't say such ominous things. You won't. I have faith in you, Psycho Qiao. You're quite handsome. Xiao Fei, come on, Psycho Qiao. Just this once. Lu Yan kept flirting with him. Lu Yan's subordinates stood outside the cabin door. What's going on inside? Our boss is flirting with young Master Qiao. Someone asked. Does the boss still want to eat wontons? Xiao Fei won't give her a bag. Of course not. I heard it for a while and it seems like the boss wants young Master Qiao to seduce an old guy. So scary. Yeah. It must be related to the boss's sister. This old psycho is a big shot in Australia and is in charge of investigating all the islands, I see. Poor young Master Qiao. The boss is willing to let him go. I think the boss is just stalling for time. She doesn't really want young Master Qiao to seduce the old guy. Okay. Small shrimps like us don't understand the world of the masters. South Hill Manor, Qin Chu took the last flight out of Sea City and transferred to Australia to save Huamin. He had no time to waste. Late at night, Qin Ning felt hot and couldn't sleep. She went downstairs for a cup of coffee and chatted with Tang Chuan on WeChat. Baby Ning, why aren't you asleep? I can't sleep. Hee, are you thinking of this young master? You're shameless again. But I miss you so much. When will you move back? Did I promise you I would move back? You can't do this to me. I've felt the warmth of the world while you lived here. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not the virtuous type. I can't mop the floor, wash the clothes, or cook. The most I can do is make you instant noodles. Qin Ning chuckled. Even if it's just instant noodles, it's still delicious. You're such a smooth talker. To be honest, come back quickly. Don't move away. We can live together. Are you trying to take advantage of me again? Of course I'm taking advantage of you. I'm not Lu Xiaohui. Besides, normal men would have some improper thoughts when they see the woman they love. If you continue to torture me like this, I'll suffocate to death. Then I'll suffocate to death. If I suffocate to death, you'll become a widow. Don't talk nonsense. As soon as Qin Ning replied, she heard footsteps coming down the stairs. She quickly put down her phone and looked up. It was Pudding. Pudding, what time is it? Why aren't you sleeping? Qin Ning was surprised. Auntie, where's my daddy? Your daddy. Qin Ning didn't have the heart to say it. Her brother had just been discharged from the hospital, but he had left in the middle of the night. Would the child feel very disappointed and insecure? I just went to his room and found that there was no one. The room was very clean. Even his phone and razor were gone. Where did my daddy go? Did you go somewhere far away? Pudding calmly asked a lot of questions. Qin Ning had to admit that the child was very attentive. She noticed all these details. Yeah. Pudding, come here. Auntie wants to talk to you. Qin Ning waved her hand and called Pudding over. Pudding was wearing a white cotton nightgown. Her long hair hung down. Although she was young, she was already stunningly beautiful. Your daddy did go somewhere far away. He told you not to worry. When he comes back, he'll take your mommy with him. I knew daddy went to save mommy. Why aren't you sleeping? What time is it? I asked handsome Sue to video chat. You asked Sue to video chat? What time is it? I have something to talk to him about, Pudding said seriously. Just then, Pudding's phone rang. It was a video chat invitation from Sue. Chapter 31:10. Auntie, I'm going to take this call. Pudding walked upstairs with her phone in her hand. Kid, you're being so mysterious behind my back. Chi Ning chuckled and continued texting Tang Chuan. Pudding walked to the second-floor hallway and sat on the balcony, looking out at the night sky. South Hill Manor was designed by Qin Chu with great care. Although it was a castle-like house, it wasn't scary at all. Instead, it looked like a fairy tale. Every night, the colorful lights outside the window lit up, and there was a musical fountain. It made people feel very comfortable. Handsome Sue. Pudding picked up the video call and leaned her petite body against the pillar behind her. Wow, why is it so dark over there? Sue asked. Because I'm on the balcony. It's a little dark here. Why don't you go back to your room? It's very windy at night, Sue asked with concern. My sister fell asleep. I was going to go upstairs, but I saw Auntie texting Uncle Tang. Okay. Do you want to put on some clothes? No, I'm not cold. Kid, why did you video call me so late at night? Handsome Sue, are you at home now? Yeah. Don't you see the study behind me? Sue zoomed in on the study, afraid that Pudding wouldn't believe him. Are you alone at home? Of course. Don't you know what kind of person your Uncle Sue is? Sue laughed. He thought that even Tang Chuan often made fun of him for being single. His friends were all couples. Only Sue was the kindest third wheel wherever he went. It's okay. I was just asking. After all, I don't want anyone to know what I'm about to say. What's the matter? Why are you being so secretive? Sue thought that whatever Pudding was thinking about, it must be something big. Pudding wasn't as greedy as Little Bean. She was more like an adult and knew how to plan for her future. Did anyone take over Hua Xichin's company? Pudding asked. No. That's good. Pudding nodded happily. When? You want it? Yes. Sue was a little surprised. Pudding, why do you want that crappy company? It's just an empty shell. Didn't you sell all the shares I asked you to? Yes, I have a lot of cash now. So. That's why I want to set up a company to play with, Pudding said seriously. Girl, you're still young. Why do you have to worry about the company? You're not short of money. Your family can't spend all of your daddy's company even if you spend 10 lifetimes, okay? Sue thought that Pudding was looking for trouble. That's different. Daddy's company is daddy's, and I want my own. I don't want to do much, I just want to be a venture capitalist and speculate in the stock market. Even though Hua Xichin's company went bankrupt, its foundation is still there. I want to take it over and operate it directly. Also, it's the Hua family's business and my mommy's surname is Hua, so it shouldn't fall into the hands of an outsider. Hua Zhenghai betrayed my grandma, so it's reasonable that I want to take over. Seeing that Sue didn't support her, Pudding analyzed the pros and cons. Sue was speechless. Pudding, even if the Hua Corporation is an empty shell company, it still needs a lot of money. Do you have that much money? Sue asked. He even secretly fantasized about when he would have a child of his own. It would be best if it was a daughter. Yes, he also liked girls. On the deserted island, when it was about time, Hua-min went to the basement again. Little sister Mian, why do you keep going back and forth like this? Hua Xiqian smiled. Don't you feel uncomfortable? Hua-min tilted his head and asked. What do you mean? He frowned slightly. What do you think, Jack? Did you enjoy pretending to be Hua Xiqian? Hua-min smiled faintly. Chapter 31:12. Little sister Mian, what do you mean? Jack continued to pretend. You think you can fool me just because you're good at pretending? You want me to let you go? Jack, do you think I'm an idiot? Not bad. Hua-min, it seems like I underestimated you. Jack sneered and slowly stood up. The chains on his body also made clanking noises. In this basement, it was unusually frightening. You think you did it perfectly? Yeah, I think I imitated him very well. I didn't expect you to see through me. Take a look at this. Hua-min took out an empty medicine bottle. Jack frowned slightly. I'm a doctor. I know better than you what this medicine is for. Jack didn't speak. If Hua Xiqian didn't run out of medicine, you wouldn't have taken the opportunity to come out, right? How dare you continue to pretend to be Hua Xiqian in front of me? Don't you think it's funny? Fine, woman, you're good. You even saw through me. What do you want? I want to leave this place, Hua-min said. Easy. I told you, let me go first. Then I'll call my subordinates and let us go together. Isn't that good? Don't lie to me. If I let you go, I'd be dead. Would I still be here talking to you? Jack, let's not talk nonsense. I can't let you go. Hua-min already knew how dangerous Jack was and wouldn't listen to his slanderous words. In the past few days, he had cursed Hua-min with all kinds of nasty words. Jack hated Hua-min very much. He wasn't Hua Xiqian and wouldn't show mercy to a woman. If you don't let me go, how are you going to leave this place? Isn't that a dream? Jack smiled. I want you to tell me when Hua Xiqian's men will arrive. You want to use his men to leave? Yes. That's impossible. They won't let you go. They only take orders from Hua Xiqian, which is me. Jack was overjoyed. You don't have to worry about that. I have my ways. Just answer my questions. Why should I answer your question? Who do you think you are? She's just a self-righteous, arrogant bitch. Jack looked at Hua-min fiercely, as if he wanted to kill her. You're not going to tell me. Very good. Then don't blame me for being rude. After speaking, Hua-min slowly sat down across from Jack. Then, he took out a very small box from behind him. What's that? Jack had a bad feeling. What a coincidence. Although the birds don't lay eggs and the rabbits don't poop on this deserted island, there are actually many strange snakes, rats, and insects. This little centipede is so beautiful. Its whole body is blood red. If it bites you, it will be very interesting. After hearing Hua-min's words, Jack's expression changed drastically. Don't worry, it won't kill you. At most, it'll make you wish you were dead. This little guy's poison is very strong. If it bites you, your body will slowly fester. But it won't let you die so quickly. When every inch of your skin rots, you'll die in pain like a mummy. Bitch, you're so vicious. Jack cursed at Hua-min. Vicious? Oh, no. Compared to you cold-blooded murderers, I'm very nice. I'm not a saint, but I only deal with bad people. You and Hua Xiqian, on the other hand, will do anything for your own benefit. People like you should have received retribution a long time ago. If I die, Hua Xiqian will die too. Jack reminded Hua Min. Do you think I'll go easy on him? Hua Min sneered. Chapter 31:13. Hua Min, don't you dare. Jack jumped up in anger as he pointed at Hua Min's nose and yelled at him. Why wouldn't I dare? There's only the two of us here, and we don't even know where we are right now. Even if you die here, no one will find out. If Hua Xiqian's subordinates find out, they'll kill you too. I won't let them find out. Jack, Hua Min slowly opened the box and looked at the little thing inside with a smile on his face. Little baby, don't be afraid. Go. Take good care of that man. Don't let him be bored in the basement alone. Hua Min, you're too fucking evil. To think that Hua Xiqian treated you so well. Well, you tricked me into this place where birds don't lay eggs and rabbits don't shit. You made it so that I can't see my husband and child. If you think that's good, then I'd rather he didn't treat me so well. How can you be so heartless? Do you think that if it weren't for Hua Xiqian, the child in your stomach would still be alive? Don't you think it's strange that the child in your stomach would still be alive after jumping off such a high cliff? Jack yelled at Hua Min. Hua Min didn't say anything. This was indeed strange. When she jumped off the cliff, her center of gravity was severely imbalanced. The impact was so high, and the fetus was so fragile. Yet, the fetus was still alive. Hua Min didn't think it made sense. However, Hua Xiqian didn't tell her anything afterward, so she thought that perhaps the child was really lucky. Now that she heard Jack's tone, it seemed like there was something fishy that she didn't know about. That's because the wedding dress that was tailor-made for you had a cushioning layer inside. It can cushion pressure. Hua Xiqian already knew that you were pregnant, but he still wanted to protect your child. Hua Min, are you really that heartless? He treated you like this, how can you bear to treat him like this? Jack seemed to know that Hua Min was soft-hearted, so he wanted to use Hua Xiqian's kindness to move Hua Min. To be honest, he treated me well. But, he's him, you're you. Jack, don't forget, you're not the same person. But we're using the same body. If you use the venomous centipede on me, he'll also suffer. Then don't blame me. There's no reason in this world. Just think of it as the law of the jungle. The strong prey on the weak. Anyway, if you don't die, I won't have a good life either. I wanted to let you live, but you didn't want to leave. Don't blame me. Let me live. Jack was puzzled. Thinking back carefully, when did Hua Min say that he would let him live? Seeing that he was wavering, Hua Min continued. I told you, if you answer my questions properly, I'll still feed you well and ensure that you don't die. Jack, but it's fine if you don't want to tell me. Baby, go there and have a good meal. With that, Hua Min placed the small box in front of Jack and was about to open it. Jack's expression changed drastically. No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you whatever you want to ask. At the last moment, Jack chickened out. This was within Hua Min's expectations. Hearing this, Hua Min carefully put away the box. Tell me, when will Hua Xiqian's men arrive? Within 24 hours, Jack said. What's the leader's name? Riley. I want to know his details. Riley is a white man with a high IQ. Hua Xiqian met him in Germany. Over the years, Hua Xiqian gave him a lot of money and weapons overseas. He has his own group of people in Germany. Someone like him specializes in transporting supplies. Hua Min didn't believe it. He felt that Hua Xiqian was using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Chapter 31:15. Okay, let me take a look. Shen Mingxi sat down casually beside Wei Ying. He didn't try to keep his distance, so he was very close to her. Wei Ying smelled the familiar perfume on him. It was her favorite. It was also Shen Mingxi's favorite perfume. But later, Hui Yanyan forced Shen Mingxi to change his perfume. It was a luxurious brand with a strong fragrance, but now it seemed that he changed it back. Thinking of this, Wei Ying's mood improved for no reason. She was going to talk about this at Qin Chu's family dinner last time. But she didn't expect her brother to be so excited that day. In the end, Wei Ying left first, and Shen Mingxi left too. As a matter of fact, the two of them made an appointment to meet again in order to avoid unnecessary trouble. Big brother Mingxi, I think these schools are good. My friend's niece and my best friend's nephew go to two of them. They're really good. You can check them out. Okay. Shen Mingxi nodded. But, the child is so young. Are you sure you want to send her abroad? Yes. Oh, okay. Wei Ying didn't know what to say. Wei Ying didn't dare to say much about Shen Mingxi's plan to send Tian abroad. If she did, she would be suspected of having ulterior motives. After all, there were rumors that she and Shen Mingxi were getting back together. At this time, she was so eager to send the child abroad because she didn't want this burden as a stepmother. But that wasn't the truth. It was Shen Mingxi's idea to send Tian abroad. But Shen Mingxi had been busy with the Shin Corporation and didn't have the time to check out the schools abroad. So one day, he posted on his WeChat friend circle, looking for a few reliable Chinese elementary schools in Singapore. Wei Ying happened to be awake at that time and replied to him with a few words. Wei Ying happened to have friends or relatives there, so she knew more about it. Later, Shen Mingxi sent Wei Ying a private message and asked her to take care of this matter. He didn't expect Wei Ying to be so efficient and take care of it like it was a big deal. She even did a lot of comparisons and provided a lot of detailed data. Tian relies on you so much. Won't she be upset if you give her away like this? Wei Ying asked worriedly. I sent her abroad for her own good. It's obvious that it's no longer suitable for her to stay in China. There will always be gossip in school. If she grows up like this, her mentality will also be distorted. After all, what her mother did was disgraceful. As long as someone mentions it, she will feel uncomfortable. Once she leaves the country and changes her name, she won't have such troubles. You're doing this for her, but does she know? Wei Ying asked in a low voice. When she grows up, she will understand my good intentions. Big brother Mingxi, you're so good to that kid. Wei Ying licked her lips. She had mixed feelings when she said that. Seeing Shen Mingxi treat Hui Yanyan's daughter so well, Wei Ying was slightly upset. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that she was slightly jealous. Even if you have a puppy, after a long time, you'll have deep feelings for it, let alone a human. The grudges between adults are their own business. After all, the child is innocent. Ever since Tian was born, she hasn't had many good days. Her biological father is like that, and her mother is like that. This child has a hard life. If I don't take care of her, her life will be ruined. Big brother Mingxi, I know what you mean. I understand you. You're a good person. Wei Ying looked at Shen Mingxi's profile and said earnestly. No, I'm not a good person. If I were, I wouldn't have hurt you so deeply. Wei Ying froze when she heard his words. This seemed to be the first time that Shen Mingxi had brought up their past again. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.